You ain't never enforced no motherfucker like me, nigga. Fat titty boy. Fat titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy. You wide jaw titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy. Orangutan titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy. You wide jaw titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy. Orangutan titty boy. Big baby mama body. Big baby mama body. Big baby mama body. Baby mama body.
He got something brown in his hand that look like a goddamn purse. He got some sweater vest on like a blouse looking thing.
Fat titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy. You wide jaw titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy. Orangutan titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy. You wide jaw titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy. Orangutan titty boy.
This nigga got a dinner block back. This nigga got a baby mama body. This nigga got a orangutan body. This nigga got a daggy titty body. That nigga lip be getting in the way when he breathe and shit. If I don't lip these hoes, these hoes. If I don't lip these hoes.
Fat titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy. You wide jaw titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy, fat titty boy. Orangutan titty boy. Big baby mama body. Big baby mama body. Big baby mama body. It is really cool, like a motherfucker.
Everybody got paid. 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 Everybody got paid.
Larry got paid. Antoine got paid. Steve Blake got paid.
Everybody.
Jerry got paid.
Everybody.
Anthony Pillar got paid.
People was getting paid.
Sean got paid. Alvin Booth got paid. Antonio Daniels got paid. E-John got paid.
Everybody.
Juan Dixon. People was getting paid. The first people ever got paid. Got paid. Got paid. Got paid. Got paid. Got paid.
Got paid.
The first people ever
Got paid.
got paid. Got paid. Got paid. Got paid. Got paid. Got paid.
Everybody got paid. Everybody got paid. Everybody got paid. Everybody got paid. Everybody got paid. Everybody got paid.
Beat it up for the Georgia nigga.
Everybody got paid. Everybody got paid. Everybody got paid.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me make sure my audio's straight. Bam. Now it's on the sure mic. Everybody got paid because that's what it's about, getting paid. That's what it's about. My son got paid because, boy, look at here. This debate was hilarious. I just watched the entire debate. I literally did it this morning. So this is going to be tough for me to watch it all again. I should have watched it at the same time as y'all. But excuse me, but I wanted to know what this was about, and it's more the same of Mysonne. You got to be careful of people that really don't have a job. You really don't know what they do for a living. They went to jail, or they have like a niche and they mentor, or they do this, but they don't really have a job or office or nothing that they do on their own to make money. Because, well, not that I know of. I don't know Mysonne, but I don't know of any business Mysonne got other than going to talk about the things that he talks about from a political standpoint that I think he's getting paid to do. Other than that, I don't know what he does. He used to be a rapper. He went to jail for allegedly robbing a cab that he didn't rob. He said he didn't rob, but now he's this devout activist, has all these talking points that you can't really see the evidence of what he's doing having an effect on the community, as he says. But nevertheless, they build programming around the problems in the community. And this is where they are extracting large sums of money from the government. You go into an impoverished place, you give them a story, you let them know you went to prison, you let them know you're trying to mentor, you let them know you're trying to help, and the government gives you money for that. As long as you can come up with some programming, word it the right way, make it sound good, don't really have to have no results, but they'll pay you money for that. So I want y'all to see the difference between Mysonne and Marquett. I don't know any of these two brothers, but I think I'm more so in line with the dude Marquett, somebody who gets up and do something other than sit back and pretend like things are not the way they are for certain reasons. There's some reason on the other side, but there's some sorry motherfuckers on that side too. Yeah, some things with Marquett I don't agree with, just like anybody. Some things with Mysonne I agree with a little bit. But majority of things, if I had to do a majority, I will say I'm totally different than Mysonne. He'll speak about something that we need to do something about, but then he's not willing to do nothing about it. He speaks on both ends. He say, we got to do this, we got to do that. And then Marquett will say, well, why don't you take it? You a man. He'll go, we don't have an infrastructure to take it. Well, then shut the fuck up about it. The way I grew up, if you're going to speak about something, you got to do something about it. There's a term called check it or respect it. Somebody do something wrong to you, what you going to do? If you going to check it or you going to respect it? You going to check it? That don't mean you got to be a fighting type of violent person. You can call the cops. You could have a conversation. You can say, I'm not going to let you treat me like that. That's checking it. Or are you going to sit back and do nothing and respect it? And I think Mysonne, the way he speaks, is always allow for him to stay in the problem because he's not really going to do anything about it. And that makes sense why the only time I see Mysonne is when the camera is present. But if you're going to speak about something, you should do something about it. Marquett was very clear. If you're saying that we should get 40 acres and a mule, you're saying we should get all this stuff, then why haven't we took it yet? That's not practical in life. If a man think he's owed something, we usually take it. We usually go out and go find another way to get it. But we don't sit back and keep complaining about it. That's not manly at all. But let's hear the debate. And I'm going to try to be quiet as possible and let it go. I'll have to stop it for YouTube purposes and I'll give my commentary. But I'll try to let it run 2-3 minutes and then I'll have to pause it and say something. So let's go. Let's get it.
My father would leave when the welfare person came. He would leave, put his little stuff in the corner, and when they came, he came back. And what he did was he made sure he left the house and he went and got a job until we didn't need welfare anymore. He didn't abandon his family. He didn't abandon his wife. He didn't abandon his children. And most men of honor in any level of integrity that I know didn't leave his family for SNAP benefits. There's no man who loves his family that just leaves his family for SNAP benefits. So what I think has happened is there were families that probably were broken from the beginning because there was a hierarchy. There was, because I have conversations with men, like you had a conversation I seen on your conversation, where there was a man saying, if we could have a conversation and you say something and you sound like a man and I hit you in the mouth, I didn't abuse you, you just lost the fight. And that mentality is toxic. And no woman should have.
Oh, my son, you hit me with this white liberal female talk.
I didn't say it's toxic masculinity. I'm saying that mentality. I don't speak like a female. And I think when we talk to men, we can't talk to men and say that they're talking like females, because we started off saying we're going to talk with respect. I'm talking to you like a man. Yes. I've never done anything like a female.
No, I'm not saying you're talking like a female. I'm saying the ideology is
it's not ideology.
Feminist liberalism.
What I'm trying to tell you, I've been a man. I'm almost 50 years old, and I've been around men my whole life. Men of honor. I've been in jail around killers. I've been in jail around the most notorious men in the world. And none of them think putting your hand on a woman because she says something that you don't agree with is masculine or strong. So I'm trying to tell you, there's an ideology that certain men have that think because a woman doesn't abide by your rules and you pay the rules, that you have the ability to abuse her. So what happened? Do
you mind if I address some of the things you said, because you're kind of going on to a different topic at this point?
So let me just finish. So what I'm trying to say is, when you talk about that SNAP benefits broke up the home, it wasn't that SNAP benefits broke up the home. There was a level of independence that women had in toxic relationships that made them believe that I don't have to be around a man who thinks because I say something he don't like and he hits me in the mouth that I lost the fight.
I'm just making some notes here. Okay. So I would challenge that a number of the things you have articulated are speculative, they're anecdotal, they diverge from logic, and they're very much so.
Yeah, and my son speaks from his anecdotal experience a lot, meaning that he's only talking about from what he's seen and what he's around. You got to understand, this man did 7 years in prison. So he was in a cage for 7 years straight. When he got out, he probably was on parole or probation. So he's been stuck from what he knows from the people that's around, grandma, mama, the hood, prison, books that he's read in prison. So he hadn't really seen much. So the things that he keeps saying, he gets real pissed off with this whole white woman ideology. And in the beginning, I would have been pissed off too until he explained it. It's like, okay, no, you're spewing out the terms and the words, and that's why you got to be careful using the language of other people. You have to be careful using the language of other people. White woman ideology. Disclaimer: the views shared by the host and the guests are their own. Absolutely. And there'll be times that I agree with a few things, and there'll be times that I'm just giving y'all the content. But man, this is gonna get interesting. This is gonna heat up real quick. So y'all be ready for it. This is gonna heat up real quick.
What feels good, what sounds good, and what's emotional. And the reason I say that is because you noted that Black people represent 25% of SNAP benefits recipients. And I know you said that because I wrote it down. Now, that actually doesn't make sense in as much as Black people in America, and I'm not talking about the foundational Black American, because I think that they're more so like 10%, but Black people, which would be inclusive of Haitians and all of these other groups that have a different ethnic background, but Black people represent 13%. So they're nearly twice, they're at 200% of the representation they should be at, kind of similar to prisons. And you spoke about that earlier. You know, we're 13% of the US population, but a much higher percentage of the prison population. We're overrepresented. I think there's a very reasonable story that you could articulate in both cases, but what is certain is that we're overrepresented in a bad way, and it's detrimental. So you stated that as though it was a good thing that we're 25% of the welfare benefits, as opposed to us being representative, which would be 13%. I yield the floor for a rebuttal to that.
Well, basically, if we're talking about wealth in America, we only represent 3% of the wealth in America, right? So we look at communities where Blacks inhabit majorly, most of those are poor communities, right? So if we're in the poorest communities, you know, then more likely we're going to need the most assistance. So the fact that we only represent 25% of it and everybody represents more than that, the whites represent about 40% of it, you know, and they represent 70% of the population, and they represent 83% of the wealth. Right. So that there's also a correlation. So what happens is, when you look at the other people who are on SNAP benefits, they've utilized SNAP to their ability. Right. If you look at the Jewish population, they are one of the highest, also a high population on SNAP benefits. They utilize the housing of the SNAP benefits. They utilize the housing. They figure out how do they get free housing, and they also own their own communities within the community they live in, and they also figure out how do they benefit off it. So what I think is what we haven't learned is how to benefit off of using the state's money, like the billionaires have, right? They call and they say we're a bank.
Man, I you know what? I can't stand when people know useless information or they don't use the information that they're being presented in front of them. But then they'll talk about it as if it's something that supports their point. Mysonne, if you can see that Jewish people and other people have used SNAP benefits to their benefit, then why for come? How is it that why for come? You didn't study what they were doing so that you can duplicate it and do it too. Nobody reinvented the wheel. If somebody's already doing something that makes sense, do it too. Get yourself out of welfare. If I know some people, because it's some Jewish people that they do this, they do that for real. They'll use Section 8, get a big apartment building or get a big building that they're staying in. They'll get other people and they'll rent out the basement while they're on Section 8. They'll find a way to hustle. Do the same thing. Why is it that we supposed to be the smartest and all this other stuff? If it's already, I might not be the smartest motherfucker in the world, but if somebody already doing something successful, I'm not going to try to rewrite the coding or rewrite the book. I'm just going to follow that. I might add my own little spice to it, but I'm going to be successful too. That's for damn sure. I don't understand Mysonne. He just want to sit around and complain. Maybe he just want white people to give him shit. I don't know. Because if they're doing it and it's working, then what's stopping you?
Right? We have our money, but we're not going to spend our money. So we want you to give us your money, and we're going to continue to make more money. I use the example of Rich Dad Poor Dad. The rich people figure out how to use OPM, right? And that is a form of government assistance. So if Black people were in our communities and we were taught how to utilize the government assistance, right? We taught how to utilize SNAP benefits. Right now, they're trying to stop us from doing that. Right now, there's a crackdown because the lady brought cakes, right? She brought cake mix with her SNAP benefits and began selling cakes. Everyone else in other communities utilize the SNAP benefits and they double and triple those benefits. Everyone else uses government assistance to double and triple and make money off it. They are intentionally trying to keep Black people poor. So I don't think that the SNAP benefits broke up the Black family. I think what broke up the Black family was not understanding how to utilize Black benefits, being targeted in our communities because they understand that the biggest threat to America is Black unity. The president said that, Nixon said to himself, the biggest threat to America is Black unity. So they've always tried to do that. I think the biggest thing that destroyed the Black family, especially when you look at the time that's most been destroyed, is drugs and crack. Crack was the biggest thing that destroyed the Black family because prior to that, we were still unified and we were moving. We were doing what you said. There was a community base. We're going to make sure that you're okay. Before crack came into my community, every door next door to me was open. We walked in and we lived like a community. We actually lived like a community. We were able to walk into our neighbors' doors and get sugar. We were able, my grandmother and grandfather, my family, we had family meetings where we had the susu, where we put money in and we had family businesses. So when crack came in, you couldn't trust your own family member because once they got the money, they wasn't going to come back to it. So I don't think SNAP was the biggest thing that destroyed the Black family. I think drugs, and that was an intentional thing by the government to destroy the Black family.
Okay, very good. So my challenge with folks who often take your position, and your position can very much so be described as a liberal position. I don't suggest that to put myself on the other side as a conservative. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, a liberal or a conservative. I just follow this ism. Marquettism is for the kids. Marquettism saves lives. Now let's talk about this piece. So we agreed earlier that the government is for the rich. I think we can probably also agree that the government is, and always has been in the United States, organized for and controlled by white people. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if the
I like when he said that the government is for the rich. He didn't say Democrats is for the rich or Republicans are for the rich. He said the government is for the rich. The government has always incentivized business and big business and corporations. That's why they always get a bailout, because they're the ones who are giving out Americans jobs. The government, their only solution is just to get you on government assistance. So the government needs business people. Without business people creating jobs, we'll be the Great Depression. We'll be eating rats, eating each other. So they're going to always incentivize business. So I'm glad they can agree on that, but hopefully people understand and they don't start looking at that as a red or blue thing. I hear people say Republicans only care about money. They all care about money. Nancy Pelosi is rich. Auntie, what's her name? I forgot her name. Maxine Waters. She's rich. They're all rich. So let's not pretend that they all don't like money.
Government is for the rich, and you said black people are not the rich in this country. If the government is organized for the benefit of white people, organized by white people, and black people are in fact black, which color-wise would be opposite of white people, then why is it that your idea is using government benefits, which is to say using the benefit from the enemy or from the person or the group that doesn't care about you? How would you think that that would benefit you? It's nonsensical. Furthermore, it suggests a level of inferiority. Not that the white man believes you're inferior, but that you believe you're inferior, such that you must rely on the government handout. Furthermore, you reference the Jews and other groups that are utilizing the welfare benefit system. Well, obviously, mathematically, being that blacks are overrepresented at 200%, there's obviously some groups that are underrepresented. And I think that's worth considering. Furthermore, the Jews are actually categorized as white and have been for some time, especially since the data started being recorded when these public benefits were given out. Now, with regards to the black community, what they're lacking today and in times past, especially during the time of the crack epidemic, which destroyed many of our families, mine included, is ideology. You see, the reason I say that there's no such thing as a black community is because communities have a lot of things in common, but core things. You mentioned the Jews earlier. It's a great example. They have religion. They have language. They live in proximity. They don't allow outsiders in. They have patriarchy. They have their own hospitals. They have their own policing force. And they have a strict system of belief, and they don't snitch and rat on each other. And also, they don't rely on the outsiders, the goyim. Whereas conversely, you're kind of describing all of the opposite things for black people. You're describing the idea that we should rely on the government, which has been our open enemy since we arrived here on a slave ship named Jesus. Black people, some are Muslims, some are Christians, some are atheists. They don't have a uniformity in the religion. Black people don't have their own language. Our folkways, mores, and our music and culture has been commercialized and stolen from us. And that's precisely why there has to be one system that dominates. And because black people are very effeminate as a mass, very soft and emotional, they have trouble accepting the fact that something must dominate to unify us into what would rightly be described as a community. Furthermore, you speak of the idea that blacks need welfare and they need government assistance. And if you were to only look at the 54 states of Africa, and you find every one of them is accepting foreign aid, also known as welfare and assistance, from whom? From the same group, which is to say the West, the whites, and they're all failing because government assistance is not designed to get you off of it. And even though you think it's benefiting the black people, it is actually not. It's making them weaker because, as you yourself admitted, it forced your father to have to disappear when the social worker comes up to check in, to make him have to creep around with no dignity. The truth of the matter is black people are the wealthiest group of black people, the ones in America, on the whole planet Earth. And so I assure you they can get by without those SNAP benefits, and it will open up a whole different way of living. You mentioned something about the woman being independent. I would describe it as disobedient and rebellious. The man is the leader, and he is more rational, and there's data on that. And he is to lead. The idea that the black woman would use SNAP benefits to allow her to shirk her responsibilities and her duty to the black man is an abomination. And that is something that has caused a great deal of trouble. So what you're describing as a good thing is in fact a bad thing. When you look at the data, we see that those black children who grow up without their father because their mother was independent.
My son looked pissed the hell off because my son can't say that. My son has been growing up around strong black women, and he said he keeps referencing his grandmother and his mother and all this. But even I know that my mother needed a man. Hell, I had to help pay bills at 14. So I'm not the kid that's going to say woman, 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 woman. I will tell you the great qualities of my mother, the great qualities of a woman, and what she gave me and what I learned from her. And I wish that other kids had the time, or mothers had the time, because most women today first don't have the time. They're too busy pursuing their career. They're too busy getting accolades like LeBron. Most women are stat padding like LeBron. They're trying to be the best woman they can be, get most degrees they can be. But when you have children, you're supposed to, and I'm not trying to tell women what to do because I don't want people to kick me up the ass. But all I do know is I was a child in a situation where a woman was forced to have time for me through a disability. So she had nothing but time to teach me things that I learned that I couldn't learn from nobody else. Her demeanor, her being able, men, we are aggressive. And And a lot of people that didn't grow up with a mother, they don't have that level of discernment, that level of, you know what, let me chill the fuck out. And you need both though, because you also need a man when it's time to say, you know what, I don't give a damn about the consequences on this one. This is just against all man principles. And before I allow you to do this, I gotta accept what come with it. So that's why you need the yin and the yang. But you gotta have time for your children. And that mama's cooking that I'm talking about, it's the sacrifice that a woman makes to put her life on hold and now make her kids better than her. A lot of the children now, they're just formalities. They're just little extras. They're just to complete a storyline of my life is the shit. And that's unfortunate because the kids that's actually getting that love, actually getting the chance to go to the park with their mother, the batter's cage with their father, those are the kids that's really being raised. And I think my son don't understand what he's trying to say, because when I was in that mindset of, you know, mama, you don't understand that, damn, there's some things that you should not have to do, because if parents did it right, you wouldn't have to intervene so much. And so for the kids that do get that type of love and attention, I think they have a little more peaceful lives. They didn't have to grow up so quick. They didn't have to be so responsible. A lot of my sons and a lot of myself, we had to do things early. We had to learn things early that we should not have learned so early. We didn't get a chance to be children. You know, working on a construction site at 14, that don't give you a chance to go you know, play with girls or hang out with your friends. You know, I had to do it all. And so that's why I kind of do it all now. But the things that I went through made me the strong, well-rounded person that I am. But it also took away, I think that's why I'm so playful, because shit, I had to play my way. I had to goddamn joke through life because shit was so hard so early on. And that's why I tell people, smile, have fun in life, shit, live life to the fullest. Because boy, somebody got it worse than you. Somebody definitely got it worse than you. But my son cannot understand this brother's point because, like I said, he looks at the black woman as God and all this. I'm not telling you not to hold black women or any woman in a high regard, but I'm also telling you that black women, just like all women, make mistakes. My mother needed a man. My mother needed my help. So I'm not going to sit and pretend like in a household with a woman don't need a man. That doesn't even make any sense. If you're a child in a household with a single mother, you know that men came and helped. Uncles, when something broke and the TV had to get moved, the uncle came over, or two of your brothers had to get together. So no, let's not pretend. And I think a lot of times, so much in our community, we have to follow the narrative. And my son is a guy that has to follow the narrative. That's how his bread gets buttered. He can't say anything that goes outside of mainstream because then people wouldn't like him. He gets paid because he's likable. He's not going to say anything against the mainstream narrative. You got to be careful with a guy like this.
For whatever reason, they have higher levels of criminality, and you were locked up with a lot of them. They have higher levels of mental illness. They have low levels of educational attainment. And then the other thing that you mentioned that should not be mentioned at all, and it is not a factor, and that is why this ism has to spread around the whole world. You mentioned love. Love is fantastic. Marriage is not about love. Family unit is not about love. It's about pushing toward a particular set of milestones in a life well lived. Love is great. Compatibility is better. Love is great, but being able to cooperate and produce is better. How do you measure love? You can't measure it. And the worst thing about it is love is something that the women are very much so hooked on. And that's when they want to leave the relationship because I didn't feel the love. You have a duty now to be a mother. You have a duty to be a wife, and that outstrips love. I yield the floor to you.
And I respect everything that you said, with the exception that a family unit, it should not have. I mean, you actually did say that there should be compatibility, right? And it can't be compatibility if we have a disagreement, and because we disagree, I lose a fight and you hit me in my mouth. Right? Abuse should never be. Listen to me. I listened to you. I didn't interrupt you.
I just want to say, but I never said that though. Like you're. I don't want people listening to you thinking like I said that.
Well, you agreed with the person who said it. You made a full statement. I watched the video. And the man explained his verbatim that if I say something and you say shut up, bitch nigga, or whatever, and I hit you in the mouth, I didn't abuse you, you lost the fight. Because you use terms that would be deemed fighting words, right? And you said, well, I understand that, because you should not say things if you're not prepared to fight. And I don't agree with that mentality. I'm a man, a strong man. I am a masculine man. I don't agree that if a woman doesn't agree with me or says something that's out of line to me, that I should put my hands on her. I don't believe leading a household requires me to be physically abusive to a woman. I don't believe that showing strength or even in a relationship, that compatibility, that her word should not matter in the household. I believe that I should have the final say, or we should come to agreements about how we're raising our children, how we're doing things. I think that if I'm in a relationship with a woman who respects me, that I've earned her respect, then she will yield the floor and understand that I'm the head of the household. But there are a lot of men who are not men. They're merely males, and they only have control in their homes, right? They don't.
I would have been like, hey, bro, what we doing? Talk about hitting women and all this. What the hell going on, bro? That ain't what we were talking about. How we switch up to talk about hitting on women? What is going on here? Like, that's all he keep mentioning, like the worst form of, like, my son is speaking from the Mary J. Blige playbook. I was your lover and your secretary. Like, stop all this goddamn crying. Every black woman is not out here getting beat. Stop trying to depict every relationship like that. I don't know who got beat around my son. Maybe his aunt, auntie, mama, somebody, but he depicts every black relationship that he's talking about is some man kicking some woman's ass. We sorry that's the only thing you saw, my son, but not every black woman is getting hit by a man. You're not even making logical rebuttals to what this man is saying. You just going back to something you heard in the interview, bringing it up in this scenario, now trying to conflate the conversation with that. Why everything got to go to a man getting hit, a woman getting hit? Don't you know a lot of these women are out here kicking these dudes' ass? A lot of women are initiating these doggone fights. Do you not know that, my son? Do you not know? I know homeboys that's felons like you, and they getting their ass kicked in them relationships at home. You know why? Because them women know that if all they got to do is call their parole officer, that Negro do anything wrong. He come home late from goddamn sleeping with another girl. Get what she do? She jumped right in his grill, slap pointing finger all in his eye. He can't do nothing. He a convicted felon. She called the police. He have an encounter with the police. He going to jail. So what does he do? He sit down, docile, get poked all in the eye. I don't know why my son and a lot of these guys want to act like they don't know situations where this dude's getting their ass kicked. The only thing he want to talk like is if a man is just whipping on a dude, a woman or something. You got to stop this narrative, man. These women are not going, I don't know what you've been listening to, but these women are in relationships sounding like motherfucking Sexy Red or Gorilla. Them motherfuckers, boy, they hear that goddamn music, they getting turned up. They not going for no man touching them. Is you crazy? And these little heifers ready to swing on you for it before you can even think about looking at them. You can't even say the wrong thing to some of these little girls before they calling you a B and all kind of stuff. What is you talking about? This old slave movie spiritual, this Auntie Nettie with these big saggy boobs and getting hit by a man, that shit over with. You can stop that narrative. You better have a bodyguard for most of these Negroes in the house now. That's what you better start doing. These little girls, they whooping these dudes. I don't know what you talking about, my son. You need to stop with this media narrative. You need to stop with this media narrative and start telling the damn truth. These little girls is whooping the hell out of these little boys. But let my son tell it. These are some weak girls. These girls sound like Gorilla. It's going to get domestic. These girls ain't get, boy, stop. I'm not saying it in not some cases. A lot of the cases, these girls are messing with these street cats that live outside of the law. Now, these cats will go oops upside anybody's head. They street cats. What you expect? Tell me the man that's working at MIT that's going home and kicking his girl ass. Tell me the guy that's the chairman of the National Rifle Association that's going home kicking his wife ass. I think we see about it or hear about it in the news.
Don't even have control in their homes. Only way they have control is because they're physically stronger than women and children. So they go into those homes and they beat and they harm women and children, and they don't produce strong men. They don't produce strong women. They don't have partners. They have people who are in fear of them. And I believe that for years, that's how a lot of when you have conversations with elder women, there are elder women who said, I wasn't in love, I wasn't in compassion, I was in fear. And I lived in this relationship out of fear. Right. So no woman.
Yes, my son. Some of these elder women, they were talking to older men that the government made feel like there was an attack on them, which we have documentation throughout history that shows there were an attack on the black male. They took jobs away from black men and gave women money, which changed the dynamic of a household. So these men were made to be frustrated. Some of them turned into drunkards. Some of them turned into criminals. So you're speaking about a time that, yes, things were engineered in a certain way. We're talking about right now, my son. If you speak to an older woman, she probably has that bitterness from the past. Things are way different now. A lot of these women now are just too damn masculine, and they had to be for so long. And now that men are back to making money and doing their thing, they don't want a masculine woman that's telling you to their face, I don't need no man. If you don't need me, then what the fuck am I going to stay here for? I'm only going to have a good time with you because I'm still physically attracted to you. But if you tell me you don't need me, then I don't want to be somewhere I'm not needed. Now, don't get confused by I'm shoving my love in you now, but any man is going to do that. A dude that meets you at the bar, one night stand, is going to do that. But that don't mean I want you. If you telling me I don't want you, I don't need you, then I'm not going to try to pursue you in that way. I want a woman who wants me. I want a woman who understands she needs a man. I don't want to be somebody's plus one.
Or children should be in a household where they're in fear of someone who is supposed to be the head of their household. There should be a unit. So I understand what you're saying. And yes, I believe that a man should be dominant, but I believe that a man should be proven to be dominant. I think that you prove your dominance through intellect. I believe you prove your dominance through compassion, to empathy, to being able to teach, to be able to teach your children. To a woman feels like when she's around you, she's learning something, she's growing. If a woman's around you and because you are unable to teach her or able to reach her, all you can do is beat her, then you have not shown any level of any type of superiority. You are not leading a household. So when we talk about those things, and when you talk about the stats, right, and we talk about, yes, they did. The black people are the only people, they took our culture from us, right? They took all the things. They took our culture, they took our religion. I say this all the time. Only thing that we unite in is pain and trauma. When we see another black person in pain and trauma, we all united. Prior to that, I'm black, you foundational, you this and that. We are divided. So what I'm trying to explain to you, that's why that if we're in America and all of the resources are held by the white people, right? If all of the resources are held by the white people and we're figuring out because they understand that anything that you teach us, we outlearn them, and we've done it over and over and over. I've watched, and this is why every 100 years they disenfranchise black people, because what happens is once you teach us the game, we play it better than you. So what they do—
May I respond to your earlier point since you're going on to a different point now?
I'm going into what you went into 3 different points. So
okay. I was just asking. Carry on.
Into what you said. You were talking about how we're divided as a culture, how we don't have a culture, how we don't have religion. So I'm explaining to you what happened. So they know that we don't have religion. So what happens is now that we start to build our culture, we start to come back in congruency, we start to be united, and they see that united. This is right now, there's a reckoning. This is a reckoning for what Obama did. People say Obama, the president, didn't do anything individually for black. He did. What he did was inspire and motivate more black people to be professional, to be strong. They seen black people in positions of power. So black men said, I can own things. I can be the president. I can be the president of Fortune 500 company. And they began to do that. Black women did the same thing. So as they see that, now you see the reckoning to it. They trying to rewrite in America. So I understand what you're saying, but I also want you to understand that this government owes black people. They pay reparations to everybody else. So if we can't get reparations, even in the form of the real reparations that we deserve, and we can't utilize the government money to be able to build and as a foundation, a lot of people do. I know white people who live at their parents' house, right? And they stack up their money. They say, okay, we don't have enough money right now. We're going to put our money and we live at our parents' house for 2 years. And what happens is after those 2 or 3 years, after they lived off their parents, they go buy their homes and they create a foundation. So I think that if black people were taught that that's what we should be doing with the government's money.
If black people was taught that, you just said it. What do you mean if black people was taught that? This is just simple. Stop eating crab legs. Stop selling your stamps. Stop always getting your hair done. Stop always trying to look good. And we can't do what they doing. We the biggest consumers. My son is fronting like a mother trucker. We need to be taught that. The information is out there. That's how you know it. We got to ball, though. We got to look like we balling. We got to park a Benz or a Chevy on. We got to park a $1,500 car on some goddamn $40,000, $30,000 rental wheel Forgianos. Yeah, we got to get the Forgies and we got to get the J's. So our money go to looking like we got money. Not trying to actually have money. You got to sacrifice to have money. You got to wear Bugle Boy jeans for a little while. You ain't going to be able to afford Giuseppe's. You ain't going to be able to afford goddamn J's while you grinding and stacking your dough. And a nigga ain't finna not look fresh. You not being honest, my son. You from the Bronx, son. You from New York, son. You know y'all niggas gonna wear them fitted caps and them nice boots. Y'all gonna always have some fits on. And that's where your money going. You ain't gonna be able to stack no bread and save no money when you trying to have them fits. You trying to get some chicks, son. Yeah, so stop fronting, my son. Ain't nobody need to teach us shit. We in love with our culture, and our culture tells us to spin it, and don't worry about it, because we gonna get it. We gonna get it again. That's what our money say. It ain't tricking if you got it. So all we do is trick. Odell Beckham even talked about just spending money and how $100 million ain't nothing. That shit was so crazy. A want is killing you, not a need. Think about that. Yeah, he talking about somebody need to teach us. We supposed to be the blacks that taught everybody everything. The original man. Why everybody need to teach the original man any goddamn thing? We supposed to know. Well, anybody got to teach us that. We can read it on our own. We can research that. Hey, we could take this government money, rent out the basement or rent out the top part of a space that we got to supplement the income. You know, let our kids stay in our house longer than 18 so they can stack up some of their money. Let them stay there rent free, not to ball, not to go buy shoes and clothes, not to sleep with women or not to sleep with boys in the house. It's to save your money so that you can have a down payment for your own home. That's what we're supposed to do. But my son is saying we need to be taught that. A whole grown man that's down there 50. How much longer do you gonna wait before you learn that shit when you're 70? This shit don't make no sense.
Instead of trying to say, don't take no handout. No, everybody else is taking handouts and they're utilizing it and they're benefit from it and they're growing. So why shouldn't black people do the same thing?
Thank you for that. Now I was taking notes as you were.
What is this nigga talking about? Why shouldn't black people do the same thing? We do the same thing. We just think about it on a smaller scale. Bro, I used to buy food stamps all the time. Yeah, you talking about? Man, my baby mama found a food stamp plug. She was getting down there $3,000 a month in food stamps. She'd sell us about $1,500, and we feed all them goddamn kids. Cheap nigga, yeah. Come on, my son. We do the same thing. We just do it a little different. Girls sell half her stamps to get goddamn 3 bundles of hair weave. She'll sell some of them stamps. Matter of fact, she ain't got to sell her stamps no more to get the crabs, because now the crab shack done figured out how to get them food stamps and the EBT money, because they leave it cold and they charge them $1 to warm it up. Yeah, you know them prefix crab trays. You stop fronting, my son. We just do it in a smaller level. We don't think bigger like they do. We ain't letting nobody up in our home. Yeah, I used to buy them goddamn stamps. We hood. My baby, I'm from the hood. I don't give a damn what you say. Judge me. They put me in an environment where you're supposed to hustle. And damn it, I know how to hustle. I don't want to pay full price for nothing. Fuck you talking about. So yeah, I bought stamps. I cheated the government. I bought some fucking stamps. I ain't gonna tell you the years I bought the stamps. Hell, I could have been goddamn 8 when I'm saying I bought the stamp. But I bought some stamps, and people buy stamps all the time. And we know it. So stop fretting. We just because we don't do it in the bigger scale where it changes our life, we should. We definitely should. But if you got them stamps on the low, don't call me because we online. But when we get offline, call me. I'm just bullshit.
Speaking so that I can respond directly to what you've said. One thing that I want the audience to take note of, and you as well, is that there is a red herring. You engaged in a major distraction. So the conversation that we agreed to have, and I'm happy to have this additional conversation, but the conversation we agreed to have was specifically about the clip that Willie D put out. And it was a clip with me speaking about SNAP benefits. And then from that discussion, out of nowhere, you start talking about another clip that you saw on my page with regards to a man speaking about how men and women communicate with respect and how that can or cannot turn physical. So I just want everyone to observe that that was a major distraction on that one. And
I don't
like,
think it's really a distraction. I think that you talked about the black family, right? So we're talking about the black family, and you say where was the disconnect and how something broke up the black family and how SNAP benefits replaced the man. And I want you to understand that, in my point of view, that I don't believe SNAP benefits.
So I didn't yield the floor, and I appreciate that. But that is to bring emotionalism and to pull on the heartstrings. It's not a logical argument, and it's not even a part of what we were discussing. You basically tried to position me as someone who approves of beating women and referencing a clip that had nothing to do with the clips that we were talking about. And this is it's almost like a mudslinging tactic, honestly. But I will address it, and I will double down and stand on everything that I've said. Now, one thing I like about you, there are a number of things I like about you, but one thing I like about you is that you're against.
I actually appreciate you.
I appreciate you. And one thing that I know that you've taken a public stand against is blacks murdering blacks, black on black violence. And I agree with you there. In as much as that's the case, we all have to engage one another with respect, and especially women who would claim that they're equal, then you would be treated as an equal. If you wish to be treated as a child or be treated as one who is not as rational, as responsible as a man, then you need to completely submit and be obedient. Now, me, if I had you on one hand and my lady on the other hand, and you said, Marquett, you this, that, and the third, cursing and being vulgar and being verbally threatening, I do my best to give you my worst straight away. There'd be no conversation. If my lady said the exact same things that you said, I wouldn't even take it seriously because she is truly a lady. She's feminine. I know she's irrational, but most importantly, she's in full submission to me. So even if she got emotional for a moment, I would forgive it because we already understand our hierarchy and that there's asymmetry and that I'm above her. So being that I view myself above her, she views me above her. I don't expect her to engage me with an equal level of rationality and of decorum. So I would not engage her physically. However, if I'm dealing with a woman who says that she's an independent woman, she says she's a strong woman, she says she's the same as a man, she's not taking my leadership, we're equal partners. Now, me personally, if I have an issue with a woman at any level, she's gone. There's no need to even play games with it. I wouldn't lift a hand to her. It's not a good use of time. I send her packing. But let's just say in the scenario of an average guy and he's dealing with a woman on an equal basis. Well, if you, Mysonne, say something that would lead you to getting your eye blacked and the woman says the same thing and she believes she's equal, then she should get her eye blacked. And it's that simple, unless you truly don't believe that they're equal. And there's a lot of lies about it's liberal, white woman, feminist ideology. And it's really not about being equal. What it really is about is actually matriarchy and domination. A quick question for you before I carry on. You use the term partner. This is a term that comes from the LGBTQ, the Skittle Guzzlers. Do you accept homosexuality?
Well, I don't have to accept homosexuality because I'm not a homosexual. So why would I have to accept?
Are you pro-homosexual? Are you an ally?
That term partner came from the LGBTQ? Interesting. Yeah, I never really said no shit like that. I never really said, yeah, I'm about to go home to my partner. That would be like a dude. I'd be like, I'm going to go, man, matter of fact, I'm never going to say that again. I used to be like, yo, I'm about to go meet up with my partner and them. You know, we used to say partner as a homeboy back in the day. Like, that's my boy, that's my dog, that's my partner. Like, that's how we used to say it. What's up, partner? I ain't even finna say that shit no more then. What the hell? I don't even understand these words. So did they take partner or did they take partner too? Because we used to say, what's up, partner? Now, we can't say, what's up, partner? Now, goddamn it, I got to learn this stuff now. Y'all teaching me. Cause when I'm going home, I say shit, I'm going home to my old lady, or I'm going home to my broad, my wifey. You know, I ain't never say I was going home to my partner. Have y'all ever said that I'm going home to my partner? Yeah, they can have partner, but they can't have partner. Fuck that. We gonna fight for partner. Y'all can have the word partner. You know, yes, you have a partner. That's your partner. But goddamn it, you can't take partner. Shit. Yeah, that's my partner in them. Shit. Fuck you, mean. You can't have partner. We had that word a long time ago. You know, we'll meet up with a couple of my partners up here and we finna shoot some goddamn dice. Yeah, y'all can have partner. Yeah, y'all can have that shit.
I'll give you three. Like, I just want to figure out where you're at with it. Are you an ally? Are you against it? Or are you neutral?
I don't have anything against somebody that's homosexual. That's their way of life. It's not my
against,
way.
Neutral, or pro? Or excuse me, I'm sorry, that was wrong. Against, neutral, or ally?
I'm for anyone loving who they love.
You said you're a man. I'm just asking you as a man, respectfully. I'm asking you to make it plain. You know, black folks, we say make it plain. So like, make it plain for me. You're against it, you're neutral, or you're an ally?
I am for people loving who they love.
You sound like a lawyer right now. Now, here's the thing. I'm from LA. I know you're from New York, right?
Yes, sir.
And one thing we could always respect about the two cities, always look at us as, you know, very influential groups of black people. But we always look at you guys as blunt and straightforward. And we like to think that we're very honest, especially if you come from the lumping class or the underclass or the criminal class. Mm-hmm. Now, in my neighborhood, you ask a nigga a question, he's just going to tell you flat out. Like, I feel like you're going Jesse Jackson on me right now, bro.
No, you feel like that I'm not giving you what you want to get.
No, you're going Jesse Jackson. I just asked you, like, you from the Bronx. I just asked you, like, are you against it? Are you neutral? Or are you an ally?
Once again, I'm going to say again, you don't get to explain to me how I answer a question. You ask me a question, and I say I'm for people loving who they love.
Okay, so you're okay with a grown man loving another grown man?
Being okay with if that grown man is okay with loving that grown man, that's his decision. That's not
okay. Got you. Understood. Now, so that's why I used the term partner earlier. So this kind of ideology that you believe in and that you're sharing, this is the ideology that's extraordinarily destructive to the black family in particular, and all families in general across all of the racial categories, racial and religious. Because number one, you're talking about independent women, and then you're talking about love. Families are not about love; they're about compatibility, business, moving forward, surviving and thriving. That's what it's actually about. And then when you talk about, you ask the older women, they weren't happy, they weren't in love. That's fine. Grandma had 9 kids, and it was very common that everybody's grandma and great grandma had 5 kids, 6 kids, 7 kids, 8 kids, 9 kids, 10 kids. Apparently, things were doing all right. You see, what you're describing is the unruly, disobedient nature of woman in general, but particularly a woman who's traumatized, particularly a woman who's unprotected. A woman should not be leading herself. And what has happened is that they've led themselves to destruction. They think that they're thinking clearly and making good decisions, and they're not. And we can see all.
Oh boy, excuse me. Oh, man, these guys are totally different in their ideologies. I could tell the way my son is looking at him like, boy, I want to punch you in the face. Marquett is speaking from more of a, they would call it masculine, independent, business mind relationship, more of a Kevin Samuels type of ideology where marriage is supposed to be a business. Most people marry for love. And, women fall in and out of love. I have homeboys. They married to have good kids by a woman. Some of them Negroes, as soon as their kids got into college, they divorced the hell out of their girl. And it's a lot of times you see that. A lot of these marriages, they only stay together till the kids get of age. And then the marriage split up or it's been over for so long. So I'm torn on this whole marriage thing because people, I think they fronting with this whole marriage thing. A lot of people get married and on paper and on the surface, they look good. They look like they're happy. But in the real world, there's a lot of people not happy with their whole marriage situation. So I don't know. But if it's more set up like a business for legacy, for you and your lineage to move on from a class perspective, I can see how people would do it for that reason. But that love reason, I don't see it standing a test of time like people say it do. That's just me. I'm not knocking anybody's marriage. I'm just saying, if it's just based on love, it seems like those marriages always end. Just seem like.
all of the outcomes as a result. And it's shown up in all of the bad things we've been seeing happen, particularly in the Black community. Now, another thing that reeks of this white woman liberal ideology, you brought up Barack Obama, who, number one, is irrelevant to the conversation. Number two, he's not done a damn thing for Black people. I find it offensive. Number three, as a foundational Black American, he's not one of us. He doesn't have the same heritage. And number four, he did more for the LGBT.
Man, listen, at this part of it, I'm like, holy shit, he talked about Barack Obama. This finna go left. I knew right here, I said, this interview, this debate is going to go left. He said, Barack Obama is not one of us. Barack Obama didn't do nothing for Black people. You cannot say that in front of my son. He only did things for the LGBTQ. You cannot say that in front of my son, man. You tearing at the fabric of everything my son and all the women and the Black Lives Matter folk he be around. You tearing at the fabric of that shit, Marquett. You know what the hell you doing. Come on now. My son want to punch you in the eye. I ain't gonna lie. That's what I think. You tearing at the fabric of this, brother. You talked about Obama. You ain't getting invited to the cookout. You're going to be eating scones from here on out.
Because he actually passed legislation and went to bat on their behalf. I find him to have been a stain for Black people. Did I vote for him the first time around? Absolutely, because just like most of us, I was swept away. I was swept away with seeing my image reflected at a high level. And then I realized, oh, he's not like us. He's not like us. And many of us are lost. I am the souls of Black folks. Black people have the highest level of religiosity in this country right here. And that's because Black people are people of spirit and rhythm. And that's all of us around the whole planet Earth. We're deeply religious, spiritual people. And if you go to the continent of Africa, for the things that you said you're okay with, the LGBTQ stuff, there's capital punishment in many places. There's a death penalty because Black people, that is against the souls of Black folks. And you're a hip hop head. You may remember the time when hip hop was Black, when hip hop was positive, when hip hop was political, and when hip hop embedded our culture. And you would hear people say things like no homo, or you finish battling somebody, especially in New York, and you would say, and I can't even say the word right now, that's all been ripped out of our culture by the liberal whites. What they did was they commercialized our culture. They put it on social media. They put it on Netflix. And then they told us who we are. Before, they used to observe us in our ghettos and then reflect our image in Hollywood. But now Hollywood tells us who we are and then we follow it. And that's how you get a Lil Nas X. And that's how you get Mysonne, the general, telling me he can't speak up straight like a man and say, I do not condone the abomination of a man laying down with another man, especially a Black man, because that reduces our population. The Black woman aborts.
Damn. Damn. Man, Jesus Christ. Hey, man, no. Hey, man. If this was a boxing match, I'd be like, man, stop punching. Protect yourself, my son. Damn. You can't, you going to at least pinch this, brother? Yeah, this boy going off. Whoa. Hey, man, I can't even get no commentary after that. I just can't wait to get back to the video. I just had to stop it just for YouTube purposes. But damn, I didn't want to stop it. Shit.
More children than she especially and it's a Lil Nas X, and that's how you get my son out. Before, they used to observe us in our ghettos and then reflect our image in Hollywood. But now Hollywood tells us who we are and then we follow it. And that's how you get a Lil Nas X, and that's how you get my son, the general, telling me he can't speak up straight like a man and say, I do not condone the abomination of a man laying down with another man, especially a Black man, because that reduces our population. The Black woman aborts more children than she gives birth to. Her birth rate is like 1.9. You need a birth rate of 2.1 for replacement and for growth. And we cannot have all these people, males laying with males and women laying with women and Black women abort children because we are being reduced. You talk about reparations. You say the government owes us something. Maybe they do. But one thing I can promise you is they ain't giving you a damn thing. You ain't going to get 40 acres. You ain't going to get a mule. What I'm doing is I got Burton Plantation, 62 acres. We're giving out 2 acres, 30K. It's a hell of a deal. And building a cooperative community where we have.
Yeah, I agree with Marquett. I don't think they're going to give you shit. Like, I ain't never give somebody something that I kick their ass. I'm sorry. Why would I have to give you something if I can kick your ass? If you can't whoop me, I'm not giving you nothing. I'm just saying. if you make me say uncle, maybe, or if you threaten to make me say uncle, I might give you something because I don't want to get my ass kicked. But if I just look at you like a weenie dog and I just kicked your ass, why would I turn around and just give you something? I ain't giving you nothing. And I think that's how we being looked at. So I like what Marquett is saying right here, and I want to slow it down because I like when somebody actually say, you know what? Yeah, this is a problem. I heard what you said. Yeah, that's a problem. I heard what you said. But instead of doing what you're doing, we're going to do this. We're going to have some land and go over here, and we're going to offer up this cooperative communities, and we're going to live like this. He's doing something about it. America is for sale. You can do what you want to do in this mother trucker with the right plan. We got the money. Stop balling. Yeah, you got to stop balling so much. I know you don't want to hear that shit because you know the new J's coming out. You know that new what is it, Corvette coming out. Them new Scat Packs coming out. You got to stay riding. Them new Range Rovers coming out. Them new J's and shit, the Giuseppes, them space boots and shit Kanye West wearing, you niggas love. Them $1,000 jeans. You niggas want to dress up too pretty. I want y'all to go back to 1990s dressing. Go to Walmart. Can we make Dickies great again? Whatever happened to Dickies and Chuck Taylors with the cheap outfits? Negroes, go back to Dickies and Chuck Taylors in the summertime. Watch how much money you save. And then with that money that you saving, take it and buy some damn real estate in your hood like Rollo. That's the new real. You lame if you ain't got no property. Your ancestors talked about land. And some of you grown men don't have no land. You got to become the landlord. We got to have land out here. If you ain't got no land and you fighting over a block you don't own, come on, dog. What we doing? Yeah, we got to be like Rollo. We got to buy up the neighborhood. Y'all say y'all hood, nigga. I respect anybody from the hood that's buying back their community, selling to their community. Why every corner store got to belong to the Arabs and the Chinese folks? But you talking about you run the hood. You don't run a goddamn thing but your mouth. You don't do nothing but slave catch black people and unalive black people. That's what you do. You in the hood to unalive and mangle black folks. Because you damn sure ain't in the hood to make no money. You ain't in the hood to give no mama nowhere to lay their head. Rollo is. Why don't you be like a street hood cat like Rollo? I want to see more hood cats build up their community like Rollo instead of just unalive and people in the streets bragging about it. Somebody says Marquett is a scammer. He's not going to do nothing. I agree with the rest of what he was saying, but that reputation talk. Okay, I don't know the brother, so I won't defend his reputation. Salute to you for the super chat.
Damn thing. You ain't gonna get 40 acres, you ain't gonna get a mule. What I'm doing is I got Burton Plantation, 62 acres. We're giving out 2 acres, $30K. It's a hell of a deal. And building a cooperative community where we have farming and all of the things that you need for your children, including homeschool. But what I'm not about to do, I'm not about to wait for a government that I already know hates me. Because goddamn it, the government hates the white man too. He ain't doing a damn thing for the middle and lower class white man. Why in the hell would he do something for me? So I tell you this, logic. I asked you, what's more important, short term or long term? You said long term. Dig this. If we believe that the black man in America, the black family is owed something and we want to get it, you have to get it through force because that's how it was taken. It was taken by force. Malcolm X, one of your New York brothers, told you, you can't ask to get free. You got to take it. So if we want to be able to compete, we need population. We need education. We need religion. We need heterosexuality. We need unity, leadership, and patriarchy. The things that you're talking about being a partner and focusing on love and not having reproduction, those are all things that destroy us. And that's what's happening right now. There will be no reparations. We have to build up our population and take the reparations by any means necessary.
So a lot of what you said I agree with, and a lot of what you said is false, in my opinion. Right. First of all, I don't have a white liberal mentality. White women, I've probably been around 1 or 2 white women my whole life. I've been around strong black women who are probably smarter than the men that they were around. I've been around strong black women who were smarter. My grandmother was smarter than most men I've ever seen. She was stronger than most men I've ever seen, and my grandfather was stronger than her. But he never put his hands on her. He never put his hands on her. And she talked crazy. He never put his hands on her. He was a man. He was a strong adult man, and he never felt like he had to overpower her or take or diminish her power for him to be great. I don't feel like I have to diminish any woman's power around me. I'm around strong, intelligent, beautiful, smart black women every day of my life. The most powerful black women in this country every day of my life. And I don't mind following them in certain situations. They follow me in certain situations because they know I'm strong enough to lead. And any leader is strong enough to.
Every time Mysonne start off, he talk about a woman getting hands put on her. My granddaddy loved my mom, my grandmama, and he didn't hit her. He must have seen a lot of violence in his household, because that's the only relationships that's the way he sees the black relationship, as a violent relationship in most situations. Is he projecting something that he saw? What is going on? This man has got this color purple. He's circling back to the color purple. He got this color purple type of way he think about black relationships. You told Hoppo to beat me. Man, it's some Jasmine Crockett type of women out here. Jasmine Crockett ain't getting hit by no goddamn on man. She worth a couple $1 million. She got a couple dudes that'll come jump on a man for her fine self. Come on now, stop this, my son. You embarrassing yourself. He always talking about women getting whipped. What women do you be around? Are they strong or are they getting whipped? Which one is it? Because all you got to do is dial 911. They just hemmed up Tank Davis a couple weeks ago or months ago. They hem up any nigga. All you got to do is dial 911. Like, this don't even make no sense at this point. I get going fast. A woman get talking too damn loud, I'm leaving. Because I know they're going to call the police on me. Who are these women that get, who are these men that get to hit women? What are these, hood niggas or something? Shit, I hit a woman, it's going on. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Shit, come on, man. Stop this, my son. Come on, bro.
Follow. And if you think that you have to lead in every situation, then you've never really been a leader.
Okay, he want us to know men we should follow. So he want us to know don't hit women, or women don't need to be hit, and you need to follow a woman. My son must don't lead his household. This nigga, he following. She probably tell him, look here, you a man, but you need to learn when to follow. He be like, oh yes, honey. You right about that. I need to learn when to follow, so I'm gonna follow you right now. He don't know he being manipulated. You need to learn when to follow. Yes, baby. You know what? He going out telling all his friends, look here, friends, we men, but us men, we need to learn when to follow, my brother. Red fish, two fish, one fish, blue fish. Man, if you don't take that shit your wife said to you back somewhere else. I agree with Marquett. He got a woman speaking through his mouth. I'm sorry. All this goddamn follow a woman. Man, men don't think like that. I ain't never said I'm finna follow my girl. Hell no. I'll say I'll get her input on something. Because women think about things a little bit different than we do. So I might want to see the vantage point she see it from, because I know she gonna see some shit out of left field that might be some beautiful shit I need to see. But I ain't never said I need to follow my woman. Hell no. This motherfucker here crazy. I'm just looking for a woman to follow. What? Hell no. Oh shit. Man, goodness gracious, man. Salute to you, my son. Some of this is jokes, brother.
And that is what you call a weak man's mentality. And it's a weak men mentality. It's not a white woman liberal. It's a weak men's mentality to believe that every room he's in and every time he's around a woman, that he has to be in some position of power. No, I've been around women, like I said, who are stronger, who are doing more, who are more educated, who are more or more artistic, who are more theological, who lead better, who are organized better. I've been around those women in my life, so I understand what that is. So when we talk about women, I understand that from my perspective, not from the white woman's perspective. When we talk about homosexuality, I've never seen a homosexual, stop being a homosexual because I didn't like it. Right? I was a 20 and 19-year-old person. My father was so homosexual that he used to beat homosexuals up. I grew up until I was a grown man. I started having conversations with homosexuals and realizing that the same way that I loved women and the same ideology, some of them was crying because they wish they weren't homosexual. Right? Understanding that they believe that this is who they are. I had a different understanding. I don't have to agree with someone else's lifestyle, but I don't have to impose upon it. And because you kill and you make a law that says homosexuality is forbidden, it's not going to stop people from being homosexuals. Because you don't call a person trans, they're not going to stop being trans because you don't like it. So what you should do is build your tribe, raise your.
Nah, I agree with that. I agree with this part. Like I don't get involved in things I don't understand or it doesn't really apply to me like that. I don't really care, you know. As long as you don't tell me or try to impose anything on me, I'm cool. But I don't know why my son is yelling and so passionate about this. I wouldn't even be talking about this shit this long. Like I don't give a fuck. Like that's how. Like I don't get it. He's giving a lot of energy. A lot of energy. It's almost like he's auditioning right now. And we all know the best way to audition is to talk like this. He's hitting all of the talking points. Women, 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 LGBTQ. Oh, he's passionate. Yeah, he gonna get paid. He finna get some money.
Your kings to be kings. Teach them what manhood looks like and raise them in your own image instead of worrying about what somebody else is doing. I don't have to kill you or impose upon your ideology or your life or your culture for me to be strong because I'm a king in real life. So when people see me, they gravitate to me because I lead. I can go into the most dangerous communities in the Bronx, Brooklyn, Chicago, anywhere, and be treated like a man. I make people put their guns down because I move like a king, and that's what power is. So the ideology that you think that we have to impose upon people who are weaker than us, who have different ideologies.
You move like a king, and that's what power is. No, you move around, and they know your ass connected to Tamika Mallory and all those politicians. And if something happened to you, it's gonna be you damn near like the police in the hood. Hell, you talking about they ain't looking at you like no king. You like Charleston White. You like a police. If something happened to you, it's gonna be an investigation about you. You ain't just no regular Negro in New York. They gonna say Mysonne, the activist. They gonna start talking about your political connections. There's gonna be a real full-blown investigation behind you. So you can go to the hood with no gun and all this other shit, especially with a camera. So they ain't looking at you like no goddamn king. They looking at you like, man, don't fuck with that nigga now. You know what's gonna happen. That nigga gonna goddamn. And they probably giving you a bag too. So stop, man. The Bible said women and children shall rule over the husband in Israel. Huh? Huh? Isaiah. In Isaiah it said, wait a minute, hold on. I've read that wrong. I'm talking about Israel. What the fuck wrong with me? I'm on that. What? The Bible said what now? The Bible said women and children shall rule over the husband in Isaiah. I gotta look this up. Do you have the Bible verse in Isaiah? Isaiah 13, Isaiah 3. Somebody got that shit quick, boy. Oh my goodness, this might be true. Let's see, God, man, we learn something new every day. Man, we learn something new every day, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I like lives like this where people are debating, because then it bring people out. It just bring thought. It just bring different people. Hold on. It says, children oppress my people and women rule over them. And that leaders are misleading them and confusing the path they should follow. The verse describes the corrupt society where those in power are inept, leading to chaos and misguidance. Yeah, that's what the hell going on right now. It can be interpreted literally as ruled by the young and inexperienced, and metaphorically as leadership that is foolish, cowardly, and effeminate, says the source. I don't know if I got what y'all got out of that. He said that was a punishment sent from God if you read with understanding. Mm-mm-mm. Read Isaiah, whole chapter 3. All I'm saying, read the whole chapter 3. All right, I'll check it out. But let's get back to it. That reference to if a man shall fall weak. When you read the Bible, you got to read its full context and understand. All right, back to the topic.
In us, it's not manhood at all to me. I think what's weak in our community and what women stop having respect for men is because they see men think that you got to rule because you're more physically stronger than them. Men are not all men are not mentally.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Man, my son keep talking about some physical stuff with women, man. What is he talking? You need to rule over women because you're physically stronger than them. That's not what leadership is about. It's about the logic. It's about doing the right thing, and even when you're emotional, it's about making the tough choice and taking the blame. And man, what this dude always talking about something physical, man. He always talking about something physical. This man, this man is obsessed with abuse. Golly. My son, I'm sorry if you saw a lot of abuse, brother. You gotta let your past go. You up here passing out traumatized hatred, like the black relationship is just all about men kicking a woman's ass or something. Like, come on, man.
Stronger than women. Women have dealt with more pain and been through more shit. My mother went through more shit than I've ever seen any man go through. So you're not going to tell me that men are just all the way stronger than women. That's not true. Physically, yes, and most of these weak.
He literally just admitted it. I seen my mama go through. So this man went through 7 years of prison. This man probably saw men get stabbed. This man probably seen men get raped. He probably seen men go through all type of stuff, getting jumped. But he's seen his mama go through worse than any man that he's been in prison with, that he's ever stumped out, that he's ever robbed. He saw his mama go through all that type of trauma. Who was doing that to his mama? He says daddy never hit her. Who was doing all that to his mama? What is he talking about? What did he see his mother go through? Or is he just making this shit up? Or is he just speaking from a woman's perspective? You literally was in prison where dudes you said you was in prison with notorious unalivers, robbers. You seen your mama go through worse than a level 5 prison yard? Come on, man. Something ain't right.
Men who don't have nothing else to provide but strength want to physically impose themselves upon women. And that's not manhood to me. So I always stand up against that. So yes, we have different ideologies. I do believe the black family should be led by men, but it has to be led by men and not males. Just your physical anatomy does not make you a man. Because you could put your hands or physically do something to me doesn't make that you're stronger than me or you have some level of hierarchy over than me. When you want to be a man, lead with your mind, right? Because if you look at the strongest people in the world, Hitler was 5'3", he led with his mind. If you look at people who had people that followed them, they led with their mind. So I understand that the strongest tool on a man is his mind, and a woman will submit to a man who has a mind. I don't have to hit a woman to make her do what I want her to do. I don't have to impose my will for my woman to do. And if you're in a relationship, and if you're in a marriage with a woman, so since you don't like the term partner, if you're in a marriage with a woman and you can't get her to submit to you because you are strong mentally and she believes in you, then you're in the wrong relationship and you should find you another relationship. You should not stay there. You should not impose your will upon that woman. You should not threaten that woman. You should not have to do all of that shit. Your kids are supposed to follow you because they see strength in you.
There he go again. Oppose your will on a woman, threaten a woman. What the hell is my son talking about? All he's talking about is abuse. Man, what the hell? So my son has never seen a good example of good loving. Everything is about a woman being abused in his mind. He's talking about mama raised. He done sat around and heard all the stories of his aunties, all the stories of mama. He done heard all the goddamn Mary J. Blige song. He done heard all this stuff growing up as a kid, and that has shaped his ideology on men. This is crazy. I ain't never heard somebody keep going back to talk about a woman getting hit.
You should not stay there. You should not impose your will upon that woman. You should not threaten that woman. You should not have to do all of that shit. Your kids are supposed to follow you because they see strength in you. When you are a strong person, people see strength in you. You don't have to impose anything. And that's why we're in a system with an oligarchy and a fascist who thinks that because he imposes his will upon somebody and say, you can't be that and you can't do that. And this is what this, and that's why the world is rejecting it. This ideology that you have, the world is rejected. So you can keep on going with it if you want to, but the majority of the world is rejected it. If we want to talk about building up black families, we have to build black unities in respect. In partnership, and identifying the strength in women, finding you a partner who is equally yoked with you. When you find a woman that you can look in her eyes and she sees the strength in you, you know, the movie I like 300, right? I like 300 because that man used to go to he was the king, but he looked at his wife and everybody knows who he was the strongest person there. But he looked at her and she gave him the head nod and he respected her and she respected him and she was willing to die for him. So this is what
Man, he want to take his cues from a woman, boy. God damn. Hey, my son, okay, man, let your woman lead you, man. Me and my woman ain't gonna be equally yoked. The hell you talking about? I don't want no woman going to the front door with me. Talking about, yeah, we gonna whoop these niggas' ass if they breaking in here. I want her to be scared. I want her to be in the safe room calling 911. And me and the dog going to the front door. Yeah, I don't want no woman strong enough to go to the goddamn front door with me. Talking about, yeah, we equally yoked. We gonna fuck these niggas up. No. I'm straight on that. I wanted a feminine woman that can be afraid, go get the babies, go run in the safe house. And this nigga talking about a movie. Why don't you bring up Wakanda too while you at it? You making movie references. You know that ain't real, right? It's fucking entertainment. You bring up a movie reference in a real debate. Oh shit. This is hilarious. Man, this is hilarious. I want a woman that's equally yoked. No, I want me a bad motherfucking home, right? Yes, but we not gonna be equally yoked. There's gonna be things I can do that she can't believe. Shit. Yeah, I could get double teamed and then win. God damn it. I don't want no woman that can get double teamed and win like me. Shit. I can get jumped and win the fight. I can be beat up a little bit, but I can win the fight. 2 grown men can jump me, and I can somehow be victorious and whoop both of their ass. It doesn't happen in real life. I don't want no woman that can do that. Hell no. I get with a woman, I see 2 grown men jumping on her ass, and she somehow find a way to whip 2 grown men ass. I'm gonna break up with her. I'm letting you know right now. Yeah, it needs to be equally yoked. You better stop reading them self-help books. He's speaking like a feminist. Yeah, you better stop listening to the women, man. That shit is crazy. Equally yoked. I want my woman scared. I want her running to the goddamn back. I want her to know how to use a weapon. She damn sure gonna know how to use a weapon. But you go on in the back, you gotta live. You gotta preserve yourself. You get your ass in that safe house. Hell, I might get scared and we both get in the safe house. Shit, we just wait till the police come. We done built enough. We both get our ass in the safe room. Now, if they get through the safe room, honey, then we get them. Shit. Fuck you, me. Equally yoked.
Everybody knows who he was the strongest person there. But he looked at her and she gave him the head nod. And he respected her and she respected him and she was willing to die for him. So this is what a family unit looks like to me. I don't know what y'all look. I don't want to be in no family where it's just a business and you doing what the fuck excuse my language. I apologize. You weren't supposed to coach. I apologize. And you're doing what I say because you're physically scared of me. Or I have to impose rules upon you that goes against your moral compass for you to be with me. So if that's the type of society that you think we need for Black people to win, I don't want to be in that society. I want to be in a society where people are here because they want to be here. I don't want you to be in my community around me out of fear. I don't want that. And the real kings and people who really led that I follow, they didn't need that. So, that's what you believe is going to bring Black unity back and Black community back and Black foundation and family back. We just have 2 totally different ideologies. And I respect yours, but I'm standing with mine.
Again, I want everyone to note that Mysonne again has suggested that I've promoted laying your hands on women. I've never done that my entire life. And I also, you're interrupting me at this time, sir, if I might complete a sentence. I've never done that in my entire life. I've never promoted it. I've had no experience with that. And this is how we know for sure that you're representing the white woman liberal ideology, because the main thing that you hear them talking
is this, right? Because
may I complete a sentence?
We said about respect, right? So stop equating me with anything that has to do with a white woman. All right. So just
it's their ideology. You see, it's their ideology.
I would take a liberal ideology, but don't equate nothing that.
No, they're the ones. We're in a matriarchy.
Once again, I've explained to you that I've never been a white woman, so I don't have a white woman.
You don't have to. Even if you're around Black women, even if you're around Black women, you're still around liberal white woman ideology. That's what you're not catching up with. Black women today are the result of liberal.
My mother hated all.
You keep on speaking. While I'm
because what you're doing.
I didn't interrupt you like this.
But you're not interrupting me.
I didn't interrupt you like this.
You're saying things that we already started.
I didn't interrupt you like this. You were positioning me as a woman beater, and I didn't even interrupt you.
You said something.
You positioned me like I'm Ike Turner, and I let you keep
I
going.
didn't say you. I said the ideology that I didn't say that you ever put your hands on a woman.
I never said that's my ideology. You can go to thesassin.com, THESASN.com, and click what is Marquettism, and you won't see one thing about laying a hand on a woman. So that's not my ideology.
You said that in this conversation. You just said if a woman speaking to you like a man and she feels like she's equal, then I will punch you in the face. You said I would black.
I did not say that.
You said if
you're incorrect.
Said certain things,
and this is again, this is you find this with the Democrats. This is mudslinging.
You didn't say that.
This is mudslinging.
So
is
that
what this
wasn't
is.
the terminology.
This is mudslinging.
So explain to me what you said then.
So you have to calm down and remember the fact that I had the floor. So you don't interrupt me and then start asking me questions while I'm talking. So first you interrupted. You said you were clarifying something, and then you went. I've not tried to disrespect you. I've not tried to disrespect you.
That it was disrespectful.
So no, you're letting me know that you're offended by it, and that's fine. Sometimes we'll get offended. I'm offended by the fact that you are suggesting that I promote the idea of laying a hand on a woman when I've never done anything of the sort. Oppositely, I recommend people to leave the woman if it ever comes to anything like that. So yeah, I find that offensive, but not so offensive that I become emotional like a woman and then start interrupting. There have been times that you were talking and I said, may I ask you this?
You see what I mean? Going back to the same thing. And this is what I'm saying.
Why do you keep interrupting?
Because you're saying I'm being emotional like a woman. And I'm telling you, I'm explaining to you this. So that because we can stop the conversation. If you don't think that you can move forward without comparing me to a woman, then we can stop.
No, I'm telling you that we're all in a matriarchy right now. We're in a matriarchy, which is a female-led society. And in a female-led society, women control the culture and the ideology. And what I'm expressing to you is that I believe you are victim of that ideology and that the ideas you're sharing with me reek of that ideology. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. The male versus the female, we have a different nature. For example, females tend to be ones who want to bring people together. They're more accepting and they're all about equality. Conversely, the quintessential male personality and psyche is more about hierarchy and inequality and establishing dominance.
Well, who said that?
This is psychology. We can read all of the basics in psychology. There are traits that are typical of the human female and the human male. For example, being neurotic. That's more of a female trait. Being dominant, that's more of a male trait. There's even a book written by a woman. And for those of you who would like to check out the book, you can find it on Amazon.com/shop/The Saint, the Sinner. And it's written by a woman. And it talks about how women in corporate can fit into male culture because male culture used to dominating.
My son, I don't think you was ready for this shit. I don't think you was ready. Man, this dude Marquett is a bright brother, boy. This is mental gymnastics, boy. He running circles around. This is what happened when your position is given to you, and when you are a well-studied person, and you traveled and you learned through experience and through study and education. Because every point that he's making, he can back up through some form of study and research. And he's asking for the research, and he's well researched. So my son can't really mess with this dude on any level. He come and say some emotional crap, is over with. So yeah, I don't think my son was ready for this. He thought he was going to be able to use the same old, let me praise women, let me say something about the LGBTQ, let me say this. And he thought Marquett was going to be scared of any of those topics, and he's not. He spoke about everything he wanted to speak about. And this is what a man is supposed to sound like. Most men do not sound like men today and age. If you ask a man certain questions and he gets a paycheck, he will definitely dance around the answer to those questions, because men have become afraid to be put out of work. You know, men are being controlled in that way. Marquett is speaking like a free thinking man that's not being controlled by anything. He's controlling the room and controlling the space that he's in. So it's allowing him to say his true opinion. And that's dangerous nowadays. So they say, excuse me, that's hate speech, stating your opinion from a position that you can't cancel them. Because they don't care what you say. They always tell you, you can say whatever you want as long as you're willing to accept the consequence. But they hate it when a person can circumvent their so-called consequence. Because the only person that's supposed to be able to give consequence in life is Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. But this was an interesting debate, and it's going to keep getting increasingly interesting.
Corporate, and that's changing. And when you look at HR, it's mostly women. Why? Because that's a perfect job for women, because women have different wiring than men. And just the fact that you're questioning me on the differences between the male and the female, this is gender feminist ideology suggesting that we're the same. We're not the same. Now, you ask, why am I suggesting that you have feminist mentality? It's because earlier you went out of your way to describe, I know so many women are strong, and, my grandmother was stronger than so-and-so, and the guy from 300, King Leonidas, couldn't make a call without looking at his wife. And you've gone to great lengths to explain that the woman has to lead at some point. And what I'm telling you is the good news for you is that what you believe in.
Right. And that's what I felt. It's like he going out of his way to let us know you got to let a woman lead. It's just like, God dang, brother. I'm a man. If I'm saying I'm a king don't ever want to be led. That's why they lying to you black men when they call you a king. They lying to you. How they going to call you a king 1 minute and then the next minute tell you to get up under your woman? If you a king, yes, it's great to have a king. Queen, but you lead that queen. They want you to be the king that follows. They want black men to be the king that follows. It's crazy. You hear a black man talking with strength and say he's leading his wife, they'll say, oh shit, he might be corrupting her brain. He holding her back. She too powerful. But it's definitely interesting to hear him talk about abuse over and over again and to hear him speak the way he's speaking. This is interesting.
Is dominant right now. It's dominating right now throughout the Western civilization. And that is why Western civilization is in decline. So I'm going to get back to my earlier points before I was interrupted. And again, I want everyone to know, for those of you guys watching, I want you guys to know, to be honest with you, if I saw the gentleman in real life, I probably wouldn't have this conversation. I'm having this conversation where we're kind of splitting apart ideas. But if I had this, saw the brother in real life, I probably want to sit for a meal or hear what he has going on or go check out his organizations, things like that. I wouldn't debate him. I'd more so be interested in where do we intersect and how can we do some work together. I just want everyone to know that for the record. And furthermore, I want people to know that I wouldn't disrespect him to his face, because I do respect him. So for everyone watching it, I don't think that, he's someone to be disrespected, and I don't intend to disrespect him. He may feel disrespected, but I don't have any intention of that. I have respect, but I have very strong disagreements. Now, if there was a revolution popped up, hell yeah, I'm gonna have to run you through with a spear, you dig? But as it stands, we just disagree and we're pulling apart our ideas. And again, I truly believe that we are in a matriarchy, and the ideas that you're sharing are liberal white woman ideas, and I'll justify it right now. And it's not to put you down. It's just to explain that that's where your ideas come from, as do the ideas of most black women. Here's the examples. Liberal white woman. If I asked a liberal white woman, now, unlike you, I've been around a lot of liberal white women. I graduated from the University of California, Berkeley. It was filled with them. They nasty too. But anyways, if you said liberal white woman, are you for Barack Obama or against Barack Obama? They'd be like, I'm for him. Okay, boom, that's liberal white woman. Liberal white woman, are you for the independent woman or are you against the independent woman? She'd be like, I'm for the independent woman. That's liberal white woman. You also said live and let live with regards to the LGBTQ. I'd say liberal white woman, are you for the live and let live? Or do you believe that there should be order, rules, and rules? She'd say, no, live and let live. Okay, that's liberal white woman. You also talked about female empowerment, namely the woman getting independent of the man using SNAP as instrumentality for such. Liberal white woman, do you agree that the woman should be able to get independent of the man and use SNAP benefits to get out from under him? Yes, she'd say yes. All of the things that, and then liberal white woman, do you use the term partner? Or do you think that that term destroys the foundations of natural relations, such as the term boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife? Do you use partner instead? She said, yes, I use partner instead. Those are all liberal white woman things that came from the liberal white woman thought factory and that are now coming out of your mouth. And one thing I know for damn sure, and I ain't even got to ask you the question to this, because I know the answer. You wouldn't have talked like this 15 years ago, 20 years ago. This is all new language, and damn sure being a black man from the real part of New York, you wouldn't have talked like this. And for damn sure in our culture, in black culture, before we were victim of whites tearing it out of us and forcing into us what they want us to believe, liberal whites. There's no way in hell if I said, are you against, are you neutral, or are you an ally of the Skittle Guzzlers? You would have did any tap dancing. You'd be like, hell nah. Why? Because that's what your mother believed. That's what your father believed. That's what your grandparents believed. And that's what we all believe until that was torn out of us. That is not natural to the black people. That is liberal white woman ideology. And I know it because I've lived in Baltimore. I've lived in Chicago. I've lived in Los Angeles. I've lived in San Francisco. I know the souls of black folks, and that is not us. That is liberal white woman written all over it. And so all the things that I named, 5 separate points that you espouse, that a liberal white woman would agree with 100%. That's why I say that's where your ideology comes from. I yield the floor.
My ideology comes from lived experience. I'll be 50 years old on May 16th, right? And I've been I pretty much traveled all over the world. I've been in every scenario that you can name. I've been in prison. I've been in college. I've been in the hood. I've been in the White House. I've been in every boardroom.
Damn, you been in the White House?
Yeah, I've been.
Would you mind telling us about that?
Well, I didn't go to the White House. They locked me out. I was invited to the White House, but they wouldn't let me because of
I ain't even got an invite, brother.
Nigga lied that quick. Well, I've been to the White House. Oh, no. Well, I ain't getting in the White House. I've been locked out. You know, they could have fact-checked that. My son been to the White House. They could have fact-checked him on that. He quickly backed out of that lie. But he said he well-traveled and he been to college, so I stand corrected. But they could have fact-checked that White House thing. So he didn't want to get caught on that. Why, damn, bro, why so my hate? What? So much hate? Is that what you meant to say? I don't know what you're saying, but I'm just saying how organically he had to recant that statement just by the brother interjecting. Damn, he been to the White House trying to appreciate him, and it turns out he was lying. It sounded like he was lying.
They ain't been invited me. You heard me.
I got invited to the list because of the work that we're doing in the community for anti-violence. We actually
well, you better than me because they damn sure ain't invited me. I don't think I'm gonna get an invite, but I just want to give you your respect on that because it's very prestigious. Carry on.
Yeah. So I've been pretty much around the world and I've learned, right? So when they say as a boy you think as a boy, but as a man you think as a man. So what happened for me is that I started to learn different things, right? So I grew up, like you said, in the communities where we thought certain things, where we outcasted the gay person, we outcasted the people that weren't like us. We felt like we were dominant over women, right? And then I started to watch women make decisions that made more sense than the men that were supposed to be in control. I started to watch women actually, when we look at our communities and black men are in jail and they're leaving the women out here, the women at home, taking care of kids, and the so-called leader, because of his emotions, because somebody stepped on his shoe, was shooting a dude, and his wife said, "What are you doing? Why would you go up there and shoot him?" Right? The woman was smart enough to know that that was the dumbest thing in the world. We weren't able to do that. So I started watching women make decisions that were beneficial to the family and to the community. And I started to listen to women and started to see that my life was.
My son, unfortunately for you, you grew up in the hood. Because ain't no men out here shooting no dude for stepping on their shoes. We know how to say, excuse me. We know how to get shoe cleaner. Hell, we got businesses to run. What are you talking about? You think that hood big booger mentality is everybody in life? You stated something earlier, my son. You said you get your anecdotal experience from who you are around. Your ideology from who you are around. And you're right. You've been around nothing but hood booger situations, and you speak hood booger. Because you're trying to speak for all men because you watch men unalive and shoot people for stepping on their shoes, they Jordan. You watch men in the hood. Those were street cats, my son. You was once a street cat. That was not when you was being a man. So your whole ideology is not from manhood. It's from trauma. All you speak from is a traumatized viewpoint. You went right back in the conversation to gay people being traumatized in your community, and then women making better, responsible decisions than men. But if they was making so many responsible decisions, my son, then they wouldn't have been having so many kids outside of wedlock, because that's the way to get to poverty, not being able to take care of those kids, my son. So I think you looking at it from the wrong lens, or either you know where your bread gets buttered, so you're going to keep speaking this type of empowerment talk because you know where your bread get buttered.
Moving better than I was listening to overly emotional men who thought that their ego meant they had some level of power. So I understand that there was a balance, right? So I understand that I needed a woman who had the intellect and the foresight and the emotional intelligence to tell me that my ego should not supersede my intelligence. So that's what became a partner for me.
What it sound like he projecting a lot of shit his wife done told him. That's what it sounds like. I don't understand the way he's speaking. I don't get this shit. Like, for real, like, bro, what are you talking about?
Because she possessed things that I needed for me to be great. And I possessed things that amplified her to grow to where she was. So it was a partnership. It was no hierarchy for me.
Damn, he couldn't even speak about himself in the same way. He said he needed things from her in order for him to be great. And then when he started speaking about what he brought to her, he just enhanced what she already had. She didn't become great. I want you to listen to this.
I needed for me, that partner for me, because she possessed things that I needed for me to be great. And I possessed things that amplified her to grow to where she was.
To amplify her to grow to where she was? What? She sponsored you to be great. You amplified her to grow where she already was? Man, it's weenie dog talk. This is just jailhouse. I need a woman to help me out with everything ass bullshit. You couldn't even say you possess something to help a woman to become great. You always got to speak from a lesser than perspective, huh? And Jesus Christ. I want people to hear this shit. He want to place himself beneath a woman at all times.
Partner for me, because she possessed things that I needed for me to be great. And I possessed things that amplified her to grow to where she was. So it was a partnership. It was no hierarchy for me. So those are things that I learned. I also learned being around gay people. When I was so anti-gay, I never even talked to gay. When you start having conversations with gay people and start understanding that they're actually human beings. So
where were you talking to these people at?
I was in prison with gay people. Right, I was in the street with gay people.
But you don't really not supposed to hang out with the punks like that. Like where
you don't
like
have to hang with the punks because most of the punks in jail are more thorough than the dudes that's not.
No, the punks. No, I agree with you on that one. I agree with you on that one. But what I'm asking you is like,
I'm explaining to you. So when you're in the yard and you watch somebody come up and disrespect the punk, and the punk punch him in his face and beat him up like a man and have a conversation, you like, oh, this, and you having a conversation. You're like, yo, listen, bro, I didn't choose how I am. This is who I am. If I could like women, I would love to like women. I just don't like women. The same way that you feel about a woman, I feel about a man. And just imagine if they made a law right now that said that you can't be a heterosexual man, and every heterosexual man gonna die. It's gonna stop you from wanting to have sex with a woman. Is it gonna change anything about?
Are you asking me rhetorically, or would you like me to answer the question?
I want you to answer that question, and I want you to go into. I just want you to answer that question.
I will answer that question. I will go straight to jail because I was born heterosexual. Conversely, homosexuals are not born gay. But see, there's a study from the Johns Hopkins University says that there's no genetic evidence, so they're lying.
Okay, so if that's what they're lying, but I know people who have committed suicide because they was gay. So
that's because they were mentally ill.
Okay, so whatever.
They're mentally ill.
So they're born mentally. Whatever it is, if you're born mentally ill, then you're born gay. If you're born mentally ill,
no, they're not born mentally ill. I didn't say that.
Okay, so I'm trying to explain to you. This is me and you are having a conversation from a perspective that neither one of us can speak about because neither one of us.
No, I can't speak about it because the data indicates that there's no genetics, meaning they weren't born that way.
They had data.
They're 3 times more likely that they were abused as a minor sexually. That's what the data says. Why don't you respect the data?
It's not that I don't respect the data. I just don't all the way respect the data because there was data that said that our brains were smaller than everybody. The data proves that because we have the largest brains on earth, Southern Africa. So, but they said that data said that we were naturally inferior to everybody. We didn't have the intelligence everybody. They had data to prove it. They had data throughout for history. They had data that proved that we were 3/5 of a man. So I'm just trying to say there was data to prove there was data.
But why defend the Skittle guzzlers? Like this is against our. This is against our population growing.
All I want you to understand is I'm not gay. And you're not gay.
Wait, so you've never had any sexual experience?
Never, ever in my life. So what I'm trying to explain to you is
then why are you defending it so hard?
Because what I'm trying to explain to you is that when you're a humanitarian and you understand that each human has his own individual, right? I'm staying on my individual. I want everyone to be the full version of them. And if 2 men love each other, that's their thing. I don't care about what that man wants to do with his penis. I love women. There's nothing that I could ever see that would make me attracted to a man ever in my life. So there's no reason.
What about, is there something that your son could see? Like your 2-year-old son could see that might influence him in an unfortunate way? You feel okay if your 2-year-old son is seeing this?
I don't feel okay. That's why I'm raising my son. I don't have a 2-year-old son. I have an 11-year-old son, a 14-year-old son,
I understand,
a 27-year-old son. And I've raised my son as men, right? So that's not a thing that I'm worried about because I've raised them in the tradition of manhood. And if for some reason that's not what they grow up to be, then that's what they've done. It's not my situation. I'm still a heterosexual man and gonna always be.
I'm just tripping.
So you're tripping because there's.
I'm tripping because you said you were like indifferent, but you're really an ally. Like you're a promoter of that stuff. That's crazy. Like you're going hard for them right now. Like that hurts me. So that hurts me.
You giving me the thing is that you had a conversation, right? And you made all of these things. And you said, you're saying this because of this, and you're doing white women.
He said, that hurts me. That hurts me. Hey, my son is auditioning because this whole debate started because what Marquett said on Willie D's live. He went on Willie D and he said some things on Willie D, and it was about women and men, and they're so far off topic. My son keeps bringing the topic around the 2 talking points that he want to talk about. The LGBT and how women are so great. That's not what they initially were supposed to be talking about. So he's trying to show people what he's there for. He's submissive to women, and he's definitely pro LGBTQIA because he keeps talking for them. And the conversation is not even about this. So I don't know how it got here, but hey, I'm just going to keep listening. Here we go.
And I'm explaining to you why I don't have any white woman ideology. I'm explaining to you why I have lived life experience, right? And when you have lived life experience and you have conversations you're around people of different ethnicities, different sexualities, and you actually listen and you learn because you're intellectual and you actually want to learn from somebody, then you learn something different. I don't have to agree with someone's lifestyle for that to be their lifestyle. And that's the conclusion I came to. I came to the conclusion that me agreeing with your
He sound like Tears a little bit. Ethnicities, not ethnicities, ethnicities. Tears.
lifestyle does not make it not your lifestyle. It doesn't change who you are. So that's what I came to the conclusion as. I'm a heterosexual man. I surround myself.
So my son saying God made a mistake. I don't want to speak for my son. I don't know exactly what he's saying. I'm just here bringing the content. Jay Hardway. I don't know what the brother's saying. Authenticity. Oh man. Okay, so we got a Mysonne fan in here. He talking about what, bro? Kwame act like a hoe sometimes. So okay, so how I act like a hoe? Now you got to hit the link to explain it. Now don't act like a hoe and just say a statement like that and stay in the chat. Cause then we got to ho bounce you up out of here. You got to hit the link talking like that. So you got to explain this here. I don't believe I'm acting like a hoe, but I just think I'm stating my opinion. But you could explain. We got a Mysonne fan in here. Go ahead, brother. Let me know. Hit the link. Knicks fan for life. Yeah, to me, he auditioning for something. That's my true opinion. So I don't know how that's acting like a hoe, but I'll let the brother explain it to me. You got too many commercials. I'm sick of YouTube and these commercials. You got to buy the ad free, man. He auditioning for Black Lives Matter. And so he won't hit the link. All right, moderators, crank your engine.
A heterosexual man. I'm in the circumference of heterosexual men. I'm raising my children in the tradition of heterosexual men. I have 3 sons, and I'm raising them to be heterosexual men. But I cannot tell somebody else what to be with their life. So when you have this conversation saying, well, you wouldn't have said this 20 or 30 years ago. No, because I didn't have the lived experience, and I was only going off somebody else. Listen. I was going off somebody else's perspective, right? And most people's perspective, and the people I was going on their perspective never left the Bronx. They never was in proximity of anybody else outside. They never even had a conversation with a gay person. So they didn't have an understanding.
That's probably better for them.
I mean, maybe it is. If that's your perspective. Cool. You don't want to me personally, I want to learn from everything. I want to understand. I want to listen to you. I want you to give me your perspectives. Because if I have your perspective, then I can give an educated prognosis of what actually I'm dealing with. If you feel like you don't want to do it, it's cool. I don't have to. But I understand the reality that we're dealing with. So what I'm saying is, my ideology and the things that I believe are off my own lived experience. Nobody has ever taught me. I don't have no white woman. None of the women, no woman in my house even liked white women. My grandmother hated white women. My mother hated white women. So they didn't share the ideology of the white woman. They were anti everything. So when you come with that, it's so confusing to me, and I take it as a form of disrespect to me, because there's nothing in close proximity to me that even equates to white women liberal. There's nothing in close proximity. I've learned. Right, I'm probably one of the most educated people in my family because I've learned and I've experienced things that the average person did. And we have different ideologies today. Me and my brothers may have a different opinion about certain things, but my opinion is based off my own personal experience. So please stop equating any opinion that I have or thought process I have with anything that has to do with a white liberal woman. Because once again, I don't have anything to do with a white liberal woman, and it's disrespectful.
I understand why there is confusion, because what I'm saying is novel. It's an idea that very few people have heard. I say that Black women are liberal white women, and there are many other demographics that are liberal white women. And when I say this, it's the first time people have heard it, so I have to unpack it. And so I get that it's just shocking because it's the first time you've heard it. But what you describe as your education and your experience is often, it's not education, it's indoctrination. And so when you leave your community, your village, your tribe, your culture, and then sometimes you move up a little bit socioeconomically, the whites start to groom you into different ways of thinking and being, the liberal whites, because they're the ones who want to go in your midst. Conservative whites are outright racist. Many of them, they don't even want to be around you, but the liberal whites will get around you, and then they'll try to turn you from a Black person into a liberal white woman, and it'll happen without you even knowing. For example, I think it's peculiar that we have such little respect for ourselves that we think when we leave from around where we grew up, from the Bronx, from Los Angeles, from Compton, from Chicago, and we get around all these liberal white folks, now we figured out the world. Now we can see, now we understand. No. Now you've been exposed to great levels of filth and indecency and degeneracy. So what I would like to say, as one who has been exposed to many cultures, and I didn't talk while you were talking again, sir. I did not talk while you were talking, sir. I understand what you're saying, and I have the good fortune that I too have been around many cultures. I filled up 4 passport books. I've been to more countries than anyone I know, and maybe more than most of the people you know, including the politicians. And I probably know a lot of the politicians that you know. You know, I know your mayor, Bloomberg, who was mayor for some time, billionaire. I know a lot of the folks you know, ones who have run for president and failed. That's how I know they're wicked. So when we talk about going around the world and getting cultured, well, let me talk about the world. If you travel through the 54 countries of Africa, that's a hell of a lot of countries. You could fit America, the continent, North America. You could fit Europe and China in the continent of Africa. That's a lot of countries. And overwhelmingly, they say that to live that lifestyle is filthy and unacceptable. You go through the Middle East, which is rising up rapidly. UAE and Dubai and Abu Dhabi and Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Oman, they all agree that kind of behavior is destructive for the public morality. You go to Singapore. The architect of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, says, oh, this doesn't seem like a good idea. He's a pretty smart guy. You go to China, they have entire policies against what they call the lady boys, the effeminate males, and they try to push off the culture that has been popularized by those South Korean pop singer bands where the guys look like girls. And that all started with an Asian immigrant in America who was very wealthy and used to fund these people and make them look like females or children, young boys, because he was a pederast. Now, here's the funny thing. There's only one place you can go on the planet Earth. There's only one group of countries you can go to on the planet Earth where they tell you that a man laying with a man, oh, let it go. Woman laying with a woman, live and let live. That would be Western Europe, not even Eastern Europe, Western Europe, where the people are loose and slack and sick. They're perverts. That's a Western European sickness that you have caught as a Black African. Or as a Black human. That's not our culture. That's not the culture of the red man. That's not the culture of the Arab. That's not the culture of the Black. That's the culture of the liberal Western white person. Again, you're interrupting me. I didn't interrupt you. I did not interrupt you. This is time number 5. And I always warn the audience when that truth started getting out, that's when they start interrupting.
Because once again, you're telling me what I've been infected with.
I know what you've been infected with because what you tried to say, one second, what you tried to say is that once one gets experience and they get exposed to different peoples and different cultures, then all of a sudden they think that it's okay for a man to go up another man's backside as long as it's not bothering anybody. And I just told you that I've been to more countries than I can name. I've lived in foreign countries. I've opened businesses in foreign countries. I have more experience than most of the politicians you probably are getting paid by. I know the world. No one can lie to me about this world. I've been through it. So with that being the case, it's not experience that opens you up to filth. Now, here's my problem with what you said earlier. This is why it's so problematic. When you try to tell me accept what they say and accept what they do, because like you, they were born this way. And then I tell you, I have a master's degree from the Johns Hopkins University, which is the foremost institution in medicine and science on the whole planet Earth. And Johns Hopkins put out a study that is peer-reviewed, and it points out 2 major findings. Number 1, there is no gay gene whatsoever. So it's not genetic. They weren't born that way. And then number 2, it says that the overwhelming majority of these people have been abused as minors sexually. 3 times the rate. And in addition, you have mentioned one of them offing themselves. I think it's tragic. It's utterly tragic. But the reason that they take their lives is because they're mentally unwell. The worst thing you can do with someone who is sick is pretend as though they're not sick. Then the sickness eats them till there's nothing left. So what I propose to do is stop lying to them and telling them that they're okay and that it's normal. Tell them the truth. Tell them that they're sick and see if we can find a solution so they don't continue hurting themselves. Marquett, what's the data on that? Yet another study from Johns Hopkins. And there's anecdotal stuff too. But check this out. The data indicates that those who are post-op, those who say that they're transgender, born in the wrong body. I always felt this way my whole life since I was a kid, born in the wrong body. After they get the surgery to mutilate their bodies, you have a higher rate of them taking their life. Now, why do you have that? Because now they're in the correct body. The reason you have that is because in their sick mind, they thought that once they cut off their manhood, they'd feel like a woman. But there's still thousands of genes that say you are not a woman. But most importantly, there's still some trouble in their mind. There's turmoil in their mind that will not be healed by mutilating your own body. And that's why they still take themselves out. And the data indicates that it's a mental health issue. And they're not born mentally ill. Many of them, it's environment, it's reaction to trauma, inability to get over it. Okay. So that's why I address it, because it is a great sickness that is spreading through the land like a pestilence. And that's all I have to say about the Skittle Guzzlers. We don't have to get into it. I'm responding to you because you went pretty hard about them. And now I just gave my response to the Skittle Guzzlers, and we don't have to talk any more about the Skittle Guzzlers.
So first of all, we never even had a conversation about trans because I understand trans, so I can't even give you that, right? I want to ask you this. Have you ever seen a homosexual person stop being homosexual?
Yes, sir. There's a famous one. His name is Little Richard. He lived his life as a degenerate, and then he gave his life over to God. Now, mind you, I don't promote slave religion. I don't promote it at all. But he gave his life over to God, and then he explained that he knew he was wrong when he did that, and he never looked back once he stopped doing that, and that's public record. And he's a famous person that we can both use as a reference point. Do you mind if I acknowledge some of the points, some of the people who have sent in their comments or questions?
Okay.
Okay, I'm just do that real quick. Just a little bit of housekeeping. And by the way, folks, if you have comments or questions for the gentleman, or you want to say, hey, my son, I agree with you, bro. This bald head nigga crazy. I agree with you. Feel free to send it in right now at this time using the information below. If you're on YouTube, you can use the Stripe link as well. May I acknowledge Kareem supporting the work. He used the Stripe link to show his support. That's in the description of the YouTube video. Shout out to Frank as well supporting. We appreciate you. May I also acknowledge Ernest always coming through. Shout out to Caleb as well supporting using the Stripe link. And I appreciate you guys not using the Google Corporation because they banned me for telling too much truth. Shout out to Perry using the Stripe link as well to support. And shout out to
Hold on, y'all. My bad. I missed the super chat. Hold on, because I got an inspector here right now. Sorry about that. Beautiful one. Oh, she back. How you doing, beautiful one? Why black men never speak guidance for black men? My son talking that go along, get along gang, street politician edition type ish. What is this? All right, so I read them all. Salute to you, beautiful one. Good to have you back. Let me skip past this part where he's just reading the super chat. Let's get back to them talking. And I'm almost finished here, so I'll be right back.
Right, that was never my position because what I said was my agreement doesn't stop their reality. So I'm not telling you what to accept or not to accept, right? I'm telling people have their own ideologies and their own belief systems. And I surround myself with people who have the same belief system and ideologies that I do. Do I have conversations with other people to understand what they understand and then try to get an understanding of their reality? Yes, I do, because I want to learn. I don't want to be ill-informed. I don't want to just take, information based off my perspective when I can't even have a perspective about something that I've never experienced. So yes, I have conversations with people. So I'm not telling you what to believe or agree with. That's the main focus that I want. Understanding that my ideology is that we are all individuals and we have a different mentality. We have a different makeup, physical, mental, emotional, like whatever you believe. If you believe that it's a mental illness that they acquired after birth, that's your perspective. But if you have conversation with most of them, that's not their perspective, right? If you believe that a person who is gay changes to be straight again, I've never seen that. You say Little Richard has done it. I've seen a lot of people.
I can play the video.
Listen, you can play the video, but I've heard men say that they stopped being down low and still was down low. So that's just a conversation. I'm talking about in reality, I've never seen it. I've heard people say it. I've watched people go to church and say, "Oh, I'm not gay no more," and then they find out that the person was gay. So I've seen the reality change. So we can have a conversation about what somebody told you. I don't want to talk about the Skittle Guzzlers anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm just talking about me saying to myself that understanding that the level of disgrace and humiliation that gays have gotten for years, for them to still fight for a way of life that is clearly against what most people want, and still have to live in that and live in shame for all their lives, there has to be something to that. So that I want to understand that mentality, right? So when a person tells me that they feel the same way about being gay as I feel about being heterosexual, that makes me think, like, wow, if you feel that strong, then there's nothing I can do with you. I just have to respect you for being who you are and respect who I am. I just think that in this conversation, me having a conversation with your audience, I know most of them think like you, so it's cool. If we were having a conversation with my audience, then 90% of them will be saying that you're crazy. So I'm cool. But your audience is not real black people, though. I just want that to be clear. Those are not real black people. It's impossible for you to tell me that. No, they're not real black people. I'm around real black people every day of my life. I'm around real black people every day of my life. Real black people do not condone that at all. It's not about. There's not about condoning anything. It's not. That's not our culture. See, once again, you see what I mean? You keep using the wrong words. Condoning and letting someone else live their own reality. I've never said I condone or don't condone. No, you do condone it. Why would you just be real with me, man? I mean, you just took out 20 minutes to give a Martin Luther King speech on behalf of the homosexuals, and you're talking about you're not an ally. You are an ally. That's the only thing. That's the problem today. So we want to talk about being men, but if you're gonna be a man, just stand on it. I'm standing on mine. I'm in the unpopular position. You're in the popular position. That's easy to stand on. I'm standing alone out here. But listen, what I'm saying, it's not about standing alone. I'm just trying to tell you my position is not a popular or unpopular. It is popular. Homosexuality is all over TV and Netflix, and homosexuality. Like, Barack Obama invited these people 3 times to the White House. They represent about 3% of the population, 4% of the population. So they own. It's really 1.5%. Okay, so whatever it is, so cool. But what I'm just trying to say that's such a minute issue. The reality, the things that I'm dealing with. That's why I said 3 times. I don't want to talk about. So what I'm saying is things that I'm dealing with. No, you're the one that keeps saying that. Once
No,
again,
I literally said I don't want to
the
talk
things,
about it.
okay, so the things that I deal with on a daily basis about stopping, violence in the Black communities, educating our kids and teaching them about manhood. I have right to passage programs that teaches about manhood so that they don't have to be misled about gender and all of those things, right? So that they're not misled about who's influencing them, that strong Black men are influencing them about principles of manhood, right? So this is what I do on an everyday basis. So you having this conversation with me, I have to be able to deal with youth every day that have different mentalities, that have different ideologies, have grown up in different households. So when you're dealing with these youth and you're having conversations with them, the reality of what you think and a person that has to deal with this on an everyday basis is just different. So I don't expect you to understand my reality. Just like I don't understand your reality because whatever you're dealing with in your circumference, in your circle, is not what I deal with on an everyday basis. I deal with youth every day. Like I deal with at-risk young Black men, women every day on a daily basis. So my conclusion of coming to what I come to is about direct contact. It's not about what I think. It's not about what somebody else told me to think. Right. So just like when the numbers are conflated, they telling us we're not in a recession and that people are.
No, it's definitely a recession, but it's been one for a while.
But the data doesn't say that. So when you keep telling me
the data actually does say that. They're lying about the data. The definition of a recession is 2 consecutive terms of declining GDP. We saw that under Biden and it continued on under Trump.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you is that the data that they put out there is always skewed to fit a narrative of whoever's in control of something. So I don't care about data. I care with direct human experience. That's what my data is. My data is not what I think. It's not what I heard somebody else say. It's what I experience on my everyday.
Beautiful one say, hey, KB, the best chat ever. Hey, KB, and the best chat ever. I see you cooking. Salute to you, beautiful one. It's been a while. Good to see you again. Good to have you back. But I don't know who this Akbar person was, but I don't think that's who I dropped the link for. What the hell is order running that way for? Oh, they ain't gonna dog might be after those cats again. All right, let me play this because I gotta go out back.
Right. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. And the reality of the situation is that there are many different kinds of Black people. We are not a monolith, and we are the most divided individuals in this world.
And we're going to be divided until a great leader forces us into oneness. And that's why Africa is weak, because it's 54 separate countries with different currencies, different languages, different tribes. The reason that Africa gets outperformed is when you look at who do they compare Africa to. I just saw a recent political commentary. They said, Africa is going to rise up and they're going to become like China and like India. I'm like, no. They're like, Africa has just as many people as China or just as many people as India. I said, here's the difference, though. Africa's 54 separate countries. China's one country under a strong man. India's one country under a man. Africa's a bunch of countries. Some of them are even run by women, like 2 of them. It's crazy. So they have to be forced together, just like the United States. Used to be different territories. There's a Louisiana Purchase. There's the Mexican-American War that was started by the aggressive imperialists on purpose so that they could take control. That's why the Civil War happened. Not to free enslaved Black people. That's ludicrous. But rather to fuse together the country for more power. That's why Europe is the European Union. Started out as a European Economic Cooperative Community, and then they made it a stronger formation because you're stronger together. Now, once you force something together, does everyone feel like their opinion is honored? Hell nah. And that's not the truth of the world. A democracy where you think everyone gets an opinion, that's called a majority rules system. Majority rules. And it may make considerations for the minority. So the Black people will yield to one dominant ideology. And the most dangerous thing is the white liberal ideology. Oh, accept everything. It's okay. There's different types of families. No, there's a man leading. He's the patriarch. The woman follows. He may have one wife or more because we're Black people. We're not white people. Our heritage says one wife or more. There will be no sexual deviance. The children will obey their parents. Younger sibling will obey older sibling. There will be a defined hierarchy, and things that you mentioned, which are uncommon. Domestic violence, uncommon.
That's not true.
That is true. It's statistically factual. It's uncommon. Okay, here's a test. Watch this. Everybody watch this. What is the data that's...
Hey, my son, the next time you see Marquett, run. You should take off running. He understands life a little bit different than you. He said younger siblings should obey older sibling. That's when you know he understands life a little bit different. Because in a lot of households, they let the little baby, the little brat that gets 4 or 5 terrorize the whole household. Instead of saying no, you got to respect your older sister. You got to learn. They got to learn how to respect. They let them terrorize because they're the baby. They don't teach them life. So yeah, my son, you should next time you see Marquett, just take off running.
Supports that domestic violence is common. What's the data?
Domestic violence is probably the highest violence inside, especially in New York City right now. It is the highest.
Okay, what's the data? I'm gonna look it up right now. What's the data that domestic violence is common?
It is rising.
What you said it's common. So what's
Man, he back to talking about domestic violence. God, that's all this dude want to talk about. That's all he is. All this dude talk about is trauma and domestic violence and the LGBTQ. Like, golly, anything else? I thought you could talk to Mark. I thought he came up here to talk about something he said in that debate.
The data. Don't check right now. So don't check.
I don't know the exact number. It is the highest.
Okay, so how can you feel so confident on something that you don't know?
I don't know the exact number. Listen to me. I go to the community meetings with the police where they have the violence reports and domestic violence.
Police are only required to have a high school diploma, number one, and number two, they deal with criminals. They deal with criminals and people who are suspected of crimes all day. So if they have the data and you feel so strongly, tell me right now without looking. Look me in my eye, King. Just tell me what the data is because you know so strongly.
I'm telling you that it's the highest.
And that's my problem with you. That's my problem. You should not feel so strongly about something you don't know.
I do know. I'm telling you.
But you just told. I just said, what's the data?
I didn't tell you the exact number. I'm telling you that it's the highest form of violence in our community right now. That's
well. Let me ask you a question. Let's use some logic. As men, let us reason. Let us reason. You said it's the most common type of violence, domestic violence. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And domestic violence is a term that comes out of the matriarchy to create a different category of violence. Because let me use some logic here. This is the matriarchy. Let me uncover it for you. If I were to punch you in the face out in the public, that's called assault. Yeah. If I were to punch my wife in the face in the privacy of my own home, that should be called assault because it's literally the same thing. It's the exact same act. Pardon?
It's a domestic violence. It's you.
Correct. You don't have to interrupt me. I'm getting there. The reason that it's recategorized as domestic violence is because the matriarchy, it doesn't seek equality. It seeks control and dominance and to be above. So it recategorizes something that we already have laws on the books for to make it more sensitive when it happens to women. It's a bigger deal. Well, that's matriarchy because it's not about equal protection under the law. It's about additional and novel rights. Now, you're interrupting me again. Let me finish. Let me cook.
Because what you're saying is not factual, though.
No, but I only talk facts. You're the same guy that I just asked you. I just asked you to explain the study that made you feel so strongly, and you couldn't reference the study.
I didn't have to tell you this. I told you that it's
because you feel strongly with no information. But I'm responding to you, but you keep interrupting me. Do you mind if I complete a sentence?
I deal with violence interruption every day.
I understand that. May I complete a sentence? I was explaining a logic to you real quick. I just want to explain this logic real quick. You said that domestic violence is the most common form of violence. And what I'm using logic while you're looking up your data, what I'm using logic to explain to you is that makes perfect sense. If that's true, you don't even have the data. But if that were true, it makes perfect sense because violence is going to occur with people that you're around. And you're going to spend the most time with people that live with you. So it doesn't mean that men are necessarily more violent toward women. It means that they spend more time with women because we're heterosexual and we live together. So it's a logical thing. But when you suggest that domestic violence is common, this is completely ludicrous idea. And that's why you didn't have the data. It's your feelings. I yield the floor.
But once again, it's not my feelings. Is that I'm in.
Well, then why don't you have the data?
Because I don't know the exact number right now.
Then why do you feel so strongly before you have the data? That's not rational.
I know this, right? 53% of Black women report experience of violence yearly. 53%. So
of violence? Of what form of violence?
Of domestic violence.
What percentage of Black men? What percentage of Black men?
None. They said Black women, roughly 40% have experienced physical over with an intimate partner. 53% are doing it yearly. Let me see. I don't know what the Black men is.
My son, do you understand my point about why would you feel so strongly before you actually have the data?
Let me tell you why I feel so strongly, because I'm in meetings, right? And I do anti-violence work. So when we do anti-violence work, we have to know what violence we have to look to when we go in communities and what resources are needed for said community, right? So if we have to do violence work to do anti-gun violence, then we have to send experts and people who know how to deal with gun violence. So those are the resources we send in the communities. Right now, the biggest and growing form of violence in our communities is domestic violence. So there is an overwhelming amount of resources being sent in our communities to deal with domestic violence. That's how I know. I didn't know the exact number, but I know when we sit in the meetings and we have to talk to the government officials and they say, okay, this is the violence. You have been lowering gun violence in communities. That's been working. Right now, the highest form of violence in our communities is domestic violence.
Is that
That's
true?
how I know that. I'm telling you.
Is that true?
I'm telling you what they say in our communities.
That doesn't even sound right.
Okay, well,
because 70% of Black families don't have a man in the household. So it doesn't even sound logical.
I don't know where y'all getting that from. You're getting that from a census, right? Because you're getting a census. 70% of you saying that 70% of Black families don't have a man in the household. That's a census that goes based on what you said, SNAP. Well, most of them are not there, when they go there. So they're utilizing the system. But Black men, especially Black men, are probably the most present in their sons' lives and their families, their kids' lives than anybody else. This is a fact. This data,
you're misstating that. What you actually mean to state is not that Black men are more present, because statistically they're not more present, they're more absent. However, the Black men who are present tend to give greater richness and experience to their children. But frankly, I don't even think that's a major value add, to be honest with you. I think that again goes with the matriarchal view, which is the suggestion that men and women are the same. And because we're the same, the man needs to put in as much time with the kid as the woman does. And that's another effort of the woman to force the man into unnatural behaviors and allow her to step out of the maternal role and step into the man's role so that she can go to work and she can have her job and she can go out and be unruly and promiscuous. That's what that is.
Well, I don't agree with that. I mean, that's your
fair enough.
Fair enough. I'm just saying, when I'm sitting in these meetings, because we actually literally do the work every day, and we're looking at the data and we're seeing that the rise in domestic violence, and usually domestic violence comes when we're in a recession, and when, just like during COVID, it was one of the highest violence was domestic violence.
Why do you think that
was in the house?
Because everyone was in the house.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So, and most likely when the economy is bad.
And why are you arguing against something that is just the most obvious, basic thing? It's like you put people together for long amounts of time, trapped inside, they're going to disagree. And in the case of the Black woman, she has a foul mouth, and the Black male is effeminate and emotional. So you put together a weak emotional male and a foul-mouthed harlot, you're going to have violence. So the solution is not following after your white buddies and the Democrats that are running New York and try to we need to stop violence. No, what you need to do is establish order. Make the men actually be men. I agree with you on the part of them being males. Make them actually be men. Okay. And then make the women behave like females and watch their mouth. Now, another thing that you had mentioned earlier.
Yeah, he's never going to say that last part. Ooh. He never going to say that last part. Tell the women to watch their mouth. Yeah, you got it. Is the men are weak and effeminate, and the women are too aggressive. Yeah, a lot of these women are too aggressive, and he want to make it a whole thing. You can't teach that out of people. You have to change the culture. You can't do that by coming up with policy. How you gonna change culture with policy? You got to change the culture. Change your mentality. That man just schooled you just by telling the truth and not being able to, and not being afraid to say that, hey, these stereotypes come from somewhere. A lot of these chicks are aggressive, loudmouth, don't know how to listen to nothing, don't know how to reason. Is that all? No. And the ones that we're not talking about, they're not going to be the ones that get offended by anything. Because they're going to know that he's not talking about me. He's not talking about me. So, but the ones that break up their households and getting in these type of violent situations, there's a reason for that. And he act like it's just all on the man. It's not just all on the man.
Clear. That I thought was curious. You had mentioned parents, and parents are hugely important, but somehow there's a disconnect between the idea that families are breaking apart, meaning the concept of the parent does not exist very much when you have SNAP benefits and welfare, because that deconstructs the family. Most of the things you've suggested haven't made logical.
It said the numbers do not differentiate between heterosexual and LGBT households. The community's DV rate is high as F. Yeah, because they've never been told not to do anything. They can do whatever they want. So I'm sure they DV rates are high.
Sense, because you say the government's our enemy, but you want to rely on the government. You say that Black people can be so productive, yet they're not taking advantage of them using SNAP benefits and welfare at 200%. And what I'm telling you is that we do need to clean up the black people, but it's going to come from us, and it has to be an authentic ideology from us, not what has been given to us. And you're plugged in with the government, and I understand and I respect that, but we can look at the data, and the data shows us that the greater the government benefits have been, the worse outcomes have been for the black people. So your solution has been underway since the 1960s, and it's failed.
Well, I'm not. My solution was never that we should depend on the government.
You're talking about reparations.
Yeah, but we deserve reparations. I didn't say that we should stop working until we get reparations. Yes, we definitely deserve reparations.
Wow.
That's not even a conversation. If you don't believe that the people who are chattel slavery deserve reparations, built in America.
Have you studied history? Have you studied history?
Yes.
History is the record of warfare, of one civilization invading and dominating another civilization. And what we can certainly agree on is there's some civilizations that are more vicious and barbaric, namely the European civilizations. Okay. In fact, you might not even use the word civilization, but all the same, when you find one collective destroys another collective, like say what the Romans did to Carthage, there's almost never a case where they turn around and say, oh, we're sorry, do over. We want to fix everything. Now, you don't have to interrupt me. You don't have to interrupt me.
To me 4 or 5 times. You keep saying that.
You don't have to interrupt me. But the point is that there have been small instances where there has been reparations paid, and I'll make some notes of them. The Japanese, there's a very small portion of Japanese, nowhere numerically comparable to the large population of the Black American. So that's number one. Then number two, you had the Jewish population has been very well compensated. Again, numerically a smaller population, but most importantly, they're a white population. So you got to factor that in. They're actually a part of the tribe that's compensating them. Then there's a third situation where there's reparations, which is the Native Americans. They were nearly eradicated. Their population is so damn low that I didn't meet my first Native American in America until I was 25 in northern Michigan. So the thing that you have to focus on is the truth is the Black people are the most hated. They have no friends in general. Black people don't even like Black people, but certainly the idea that the white ruling class is going to give you, the sons of slaves, the children of slaves.
We damn sure don't have no allies. I missed the super chat. No, I read this one. I said the numbers don't differ. The numbers do not differentiate between heterosexual LGBT households. The community's DV rates are high as F. Which one did I miss? And then I got beautiful one, second one. She said the best chat ever. I see you cooking. And then she hit the fire emoji. Yeah, like, no. To make matters worse, we win a pinstripe suit. No, I read your super chat, Terry. I didn't miss it. I didn't miss it. But hold on, y'all made me miss my doggone point. Hold on, let me go back a little bit. Let me take it back one step.
No friends in general. Black people don't even like Black people, but certainly the idea that the white ruling class is going to give you, the sons of slaves, the children of slaves, is going to give you anything back. If you believe that, you're completely deluded. They didn't even give you 40 acres and a mule. And here's the thing, that was enshrined in law. And in some cases they did give it, and then they stole the land back as a point of fact. So the idea that you have to go with your hand out, I think is pathetic. If you look at certain wars, like maybe the Crusades, for example, or even you look at the Moors that have taken the Black Moors, took over Southern Europe. Did the Europeans say, hey, give us reparations? They said, no, we're going to rebuild and we're going to go to war with you. And we're going to expel you. And we're going to take control. And we're going to dominate you. We're going to steal your history and in some cases erase your history. But we don't need a handout. We're going to take ours back. And I'll give you one last example. You mentioned Adolf Hitler earlier. And like strangely, you were saying that, he ruled with his mind. You also forgot that he ruled with blitzkrieg and a tremendous amount of violence that the world had never seen before. Factor that in. And what I want you to understand about the Germans is when they were destroyed in World War I at 11.
Ooh. Oh, man, he might have just got my son in trouble with that one, boy. Because you can't really make a Hitler reference in today and age without you disavowing this dude, calling him a monster. And you can't make no reference between Hitler without that. And my son said Hitler used his mind. And then Marquett made him understand how much violence that Hitler used. And I'm pretty sure when the Jews hear this type of thing and my son is up there trying to make Hitler sound like this intellect, He's gonna have some explaining to do. I think he's gonna have some apologizing to do. You gonna have some apologizing to do, my son. I'm telling you right now, boy. That's crazy. You forgot what Hitler did to people? You forgot how much violence that Hitler put on people? Yeah, my son about to get a whipping. He about to get a spanking. Ooh, he about to get a spanking. I'm telling you, they calling Tamika Mallory right now. Who is this fucking my son? They done donated money to him probably and all. Who is this fucker? Talking about Hitler's intelligent.
Mind, you also forgot that he ruled with blitzkrieg out in some cases, and we're going to expel you, and we're going to take control, and we're going to dominate you. We're going to steal your history, and in some cases erase your history. But we don't need a handout. We're going to take ours back. And I'll give you one last example. You mentioned Adolf Hitler earlier, and like strangely, you were saying that he ruled with his mind. You also forgot that he ruled with blitzkrieg and a tremendous amount of violence that the world had never seen before. Factor that in. And what I want you to understand about the Germans is when they were destroyed in World War I at a level, and they were facing huge levels of inflation and poverty and shame, just like the black people, poverty, shame. They said, you know what? I tell you what, we don't need anything from you people. We're going to rebuild because we believe in ourselves. And we're going to make you respect us. And if you don't want to respect us, we're going to take our respect. I would never identify with you or the community you're talking about, because my community, the black people I lead, the good people I lead of all races, we're a strong people. We're a capable people. We're a proud people. And if we're owed something, we're going to take it. You hear me? If we're owed respect, we're going to take it. If we're owed money, we're going to take it. As men, we won't be begging. And I can assure you, there's no ear to your begging.
Well, it's not about begging. It's about reparations owed for.
Oh, God damn. Woo. Hey, man, that was a spanking right there. Ooh. It's not about begging. It's about reparation. Oh, that's how your tone gonna be. Yell or something, my son. You're gonna have to swing this back. You're gonna have to start yelling or something. This man just sounded that powerful, that strong and bold, and said he with the doers. You over here telling me it's not about begging, it's about paying what's owed. He repeated every talking point. Yeah, he up there having a debate full of talking points. Tamika Mallory is going to disown my son after this one. Belt to ass, goodness, man, this was brutal. Woo. This boy here don't play. Marquett don't play. Yeah, this was brutal. God, dog. My son got an R&B voice on. It's about paying what's owed. Let me show you. Let's go back to how strong old boy sound, Marquett sound. And then my son taking over.
World money, we're going to take it. As men, we won't be begging. And I can assure you, there's no ear to your begging.
Well, it's not about begging. It's about reparations owed for harm done.
If you're not begging, then take it. Why don't you have it then? If you're not begging, why don't you have it?
We live on land. We are in enemy's territory, and we've been indoctrinated.
That's right.
Into the enemy.
You don't have the infrastructure to take it. Then you got to be quiet. Oh, man, he just going to keep moaning about it and ain't going to do nothing. Ain't going to be able to take it. Ain't going to be able to do nothing but just keep talking about a problem. Yeah, get me in the line. I jump in the other line where we're going to be moving forward and doing shit. I can't be in this line.
Owed for harm done.
If you're not begging, then take it. Why don't you have it then? If you're not begging, why don't you have it?
We live on land. We are in enemy's territory, and we've been indoctrinated into the enemy's territory.
We have been indoctrinated? You.
It's not we. It's not me. So what happened? So why haven't the people like you who haven't been taking it back? Because there's a bunch of y'all. I always have these conversations.
Right as we speak. I'm on 62 acres of land.
I always have these conversations, and I know a bunch of people that got land, and they got about 20 or 30 of them. But I'm talking about the collective of black. It's 48 million people, black people inside of America. I'm talking about when you can galvanize half of them or 2/3 of them.
Only need 5%.
Okay, if you can galvanize 5% of them, we've been having this conversation with people saying we don't need this from the government. And all the time, none of those people who have said it have done anything to do it. And when they do,
no, that's not true. You ever heard of the Nation of Islam? You ever heard of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Yes,
they did great things. They had farmland, they had stores. In fact, New York was a major epicenter for this thing, and they did extremely well. But I tell you, when they got poisoned, when Malcolm X became you. When Malcolm X started espousing the views of the white liberal, and when he started working with the government, and he betrayed his own people because he left the core of what black folks are. That's when the movement fell apart, when we were infiltrated.
Well,
you lie, and you suggest that we have never been able to separate from the government and thrive. The Nation of Islam separated from the government and thrived very well.
I love the Nation of Islam. I've been raised underneath the honorable minister, so I know what's going on within the nation.
But if you were raised under the brother minister Louis Farrakhan, you would know that the Skittle guzzling is a vile abomination, and you wouldn't tap dance when I ask you, are you indifferent, against it, or an ally? The brother minister Louis Farrakhan would condemn something like that. Am I wrong?
You're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. I've heard it myself in Mosque Mariam in Chicago.
When the last time you heard the minister speak? When is the last time you have heard a conversation?
It's been years.
Okay, so you don't know what you're talking.
Here's where it's gonna get ugly, because it's hard to follow people this day and age, because if you're trying to be politically correct, then 9 times out of 10 somebody that you follow is going to say something against the politically correct things. And then if you still support that person, then they're not going to allow you to be politically correct anymore. So now Mysonne made 2 mistakes, in my opinion, in this situation. He said something that made Hitler seem like a smart man, which we know he was a psychopath. And he tried to say that Louis Farrakhan didn't say something that he said. So now he's going to either have to disavow Louis Farrakhan, because the people that he support is not going to allow him to stand next to Louis Farrakhan after Louis Farrakhan said this.
Talking about.
Yes, I do, because it's enshrined in a book by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad called Message to the Black Man.
Wait, it was Elijah Muhammad. That's what it is, Elijah Muhammad.
Explaining to you is that I've sat in hundreds of the ministers speaking, and the last time the minister spoke about the homosexuality, he made it clear that he has nothing against him. He understands him. He got him in his family. He's saying that we just live a different way, and we understand. We're not anti-him. We're not trying to kill him. We're not doing all that.
I'm not trying to do that either. That's crazy.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
Mentally ill as well.
So when you're having this conversation saying he despised, that's none of that language that you're using does the minister use.
Where can I want to pull up a video on that one. Can I pull up a video on that one? I want to, because I don't believe you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't believe that.
Okay, pull it up.
I'm asking you, can you tell me like what I should search to find such a video? Because I don't believe that.
Okay, so look. All you got to do is look for it. He spoke on it. It's online.
Okay, I'm just gonna do a simple YouTube search, and I want everyone to watch this so no one thinks I'm trying to like cook the results or anything like that. So I'm just gonna type in Minister Farrakhan, and I'm gonna just type in the word homosexual or homosexuality maybe. Okay, and then I'm gonna click the share screen. Okay, so here we go. And so all I typed in was Minister Farrakhan homosexuality.
Those are old, and once again, I told you.
Okay, I'm just explaining to everyone what I did, so it doesn't seem as.
So no, this is Minister Farrakhan, but he already copied out to it, so he must know what Minister Farrakhan said, because he's like, those are old. Because sometimes people change, but this is about to get interesting.
Though I'm trying to create a particular perspective. So I'm going to do 2 things, if you don't mind. He's old right here, and he's young right here. So I'm just going to click this one, and we'll listen, and then I'll click this one. So here's a young Minister Farrakhan, and here's an old Minister Farrakhan. Do you mind if we just listen to each of them briefly?
Okay.
Okay, very good. And in the audience, if you can confirm, were you able to hear him?
By nature is inclined to.
Can you hear him?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I just want to make sure that the volume is good. Okay, fantastic.
Man by nature is inclined to and leans toward the female. And the female by nature leans toward the male. Now we want to know whence came this deviation.
Hello.
Listen very carefully.
I'm listening.
The Bible says he changed the truth of God into a lie. And when you pervert the truth of God and make it a lie, then what follows from that is a system of perversion, a system of deviation. We didn't learn this freakish behavior in Africa. You cannot find brothers in Africa walking around with broken wrists.
I said that earlier.
You don't find women in Africa running with women. We learned that behavior.
From who?
In our sojourn in America.
That part.
So since we learned this behavior, we can unlearn.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut that because I think we get the gist of that one. And I'm, as promised, I'm gonna go back. So that was young Farrakhan. Here's old Farrakhan. So I'm just got that right there, and it says the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on Black homosexuality. And then I'm just gonna click play here.
I love you as a brother. I love you as a sister. But the love of the same sex for one another that's rooted in righteousness is wonderful. But when we take it to the extreme, which Satan has caused us to do now, we have gone to the extreme under the tutelage of a real satanic mind.
Okay. So I'm now going to stop that one because we've heard enough. And I'm just going to repeat for everybody who didn't get it. When he was young, he said, "This is not of us. This is wicked." And I just played one when he's clearly old. He says, if you do that, you're under a satanic mind.
That's not what he said at first. So you ignored what he said? So you ignored what he said at the beginning?
What?
So
What?
You ignored what he said, bro? See, this is
Oh shit. My son, he said, "I love you as a brother. I love you as a sister." But when you say "but," then he tells you what he really feels. So I think, my son, you must be mistaken on something. I don't know.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
I'm just asking you, did you ignore?
Did you understand what he was saying? He said the natural love that we have for the same gender in a righteous way, meaning like I have love for you as my fellow man. No. He says that is appropriate, but when you take it beyond that, meaning inappropriate, homosexual, now you have a satanic mind. That's what he said.
No, sir.
Wow.
My son, that's exactly what he said. We can go back. Hold on, my son. That's what he said.
I'm just got that right there. And it says the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on Black homosexuality. And then I'm just going to click play here.
I love you as a brother. I love you as a sister. But the love of the same sex for one another that's rooted in righteousness is wonderful. But when we take it to the extreme, which Satan has caused us to do now, we have gone to the extreme under the tutelage of a real satanic mind.
Okay. So I'm now going to stop that one because we've heard.
Did y'all hear it? That's exactly what he said. I don't know what's wrong with my son, and maybe he can't accept it because that means he got to do something about it. That means he got to say, I don't fuck or I don't mess with Farrakhan no more, because that's what essentially it means for him. He's going to have to say, I no longer rock with Farrakhan. I'm no longer a Muslim, because Farrakhan definitely said that, and he don't want to do anything about it. So he's going to act like he didn't hear it.
Enough. And I'm just going to repeat for everybody who didn't get it. When he was young, he said, this is not of us. This is wicked. And I just played one when he's clearly old. He says, if you do that, you're under a satanic mind.
That's not what he said at first. So you ignored what he said? So you ignored what he said at the beginning?
What?
So
What?
You ignored what he said, bro? See, this is
hold on. Wait.
I'm just asking you, did you ignore?
Did you understand what he was saying? He said the natural love that we have for the same gender in a righteous way, meaning like I have love for you as my fellow man. No. He says that is appropriate, but when you take it beyond that, meaning inappropriate, homosexual, now you have a satanic mind. That's what he said.
No, sir.
Wow. I want you to explain briefly, and I'm gonna replay it, and you can re-explain it. Just
I've been there. I've been in the mosque, bro. You can't tell me.
I've been in the mosque.
I've been in these recent conversations. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the recent conversations that he has had.
No. Tell me what he just said just now, because I was listening.
Boy, my son is mad as I don't know what, boy. This is actually hilarious to me, because my son know he just screwed up. He done opened up Pandora's box. Now you can't go back to the mosque. You bet not go back. My son bet not go back within 50 feet of a mosque or 200 feet. Them checks are gonna stop immediately, boy. My son, that's what he said. Now I want you to go back and look. Look how Marquett is looking at him like, oh my God, I'm watching a controlled man right in front of me. This is what controlled man and make his own way look like. He is controlled. He is afraid right now. Like, oh shit.
I'm gonna play it again because like you're playing games. Like that's crazy. Like I'm gonna play this again. Tell me what the brother is saying because you're trying to reinterpret, and that's what liberals do. They lie.
I love you as a brother.
I love you as a brother, so that means not romantic.
I love you as a sister.
Not romantic.
But the love of the same sex for one another that's rooted in righteousness is wonderful.
What does that mean?
I want you to explain that because I have a feeling like you're misunderstanding.
No,
what does that mean?
Because I'm trying to tell you. He said,
what does that mean?
He's saying that he understands that that's their reality. It's rooted in righteousness.
No, use the words he used and then explain it to me.
Let me play the one that I know.
No, don't play the one you know. We had the brother on screen. I'm asking you.
Oh shit. Go along, get along, gay boy. If this ain't the best time for intermission for that song, oh my goodness. Holy shit. Oh man. God. Hold on, man. I gotta get this song queued up. Dang, the go along, get along gang is real. Dang. Go along, get along gang. 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 Go along, get along gang.
My mama's cooking.
Go along, get along gang.
My mama's cooking.
Go along, get along gang. Go along, get along. Go along, get along. Go along, bear with me, class. Get along. Go along, get along. Go along, get along. Go along, get along. Go along, get along. Bear with me, class. Go along, get along. 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 Go along, get along.
My mama's cooking.
Go along, get along.
My mama's cooking.
All the gatekeepers say, go along, get along. Go along, get along. Go along, bear with me, class. Get along. Go along, get along. Go along, get along. Go along, get along, game is real.
Go along, get along, gang. Say,
Go along, get along, game is real.
There's no go along, get along, gang.
Go along, get along, game. Say,
Go along, get along, gang is real.
Go along, get along, game. Go along, get along, game.
Go along, get along. Go along, get along. Bear with me, class. Go along, get along, gang. Go along, get along.
Go along, get along. Go along, get along. Go along, bear with me, class. Get along. Go along, get along. Go along, get along. Man, the go along, get along gang is real. This man said, let me play to the one I got. That man don't want to hear nothing. He said, let me play the one I got. I'm not going to play the one you got. I don't want to hear it. He just wanted to start yelling. I don't want to hear what he's saying on yours. I want to hear what he's saying on mine. Play the one I got is diabolical. Golly, my son, you can't speak up for what the brother is saying on the video that he played. You say, play the one I got. Let's see how my son deals with this. I don't think this is going to go well because he know what I know.
Let me play the one that I know.
No, don't play the one you know. We had the brother on screen. I'm asking you, explain based on what he just said. Why are you running?
I'm better than you.
Wait, my son, like we just played the brother Minister Louis Farrakhan in his own words. Why are you running? I'm just saying, why not just explain to me what he just said? Because I got great English language comprehension. Why are you, what are you doing? We didn't agree to that. Like, why are you?
No, because you're trying, because you're pulling up something that doesn't go.
Wait, hold on. You said I'm pulling up something. I literally just typed in the query in front of everyone's eyes.
Is sin according to the standard of God.
People are saying that you're lying on the minister right now.
I'm not lying on the minister.
Well, then why can't we look at what he just said? Why do you have to go like search out something like he just spoke up?
Brother, I'm just trying to tell you this, man, that what the minister has said.
You don't have to tell me that. We just played his face. I'm saying, tell me the minister said this, and these words mean X, Y, and Z. So I'm saying, like, quote him and then explain to me, because I understand English is my first language and I'm very good with it. I'm telling you, but how did I miss this?
Okay, what I'm explaining to you is that the minister has said this is not our way of life, and we believe that it's against the will of God, but he is not against you, and you are his brother, and you are his sister. And that's what he said. And that is exactly what I was explaining to you. My way of life and your way of life is not the way I live. The way I live is not something that I live for me, but I'm not against you as my brother or sister, and I do not have anything against you because you live outside of the way that I live. And that's what he has said. The same thing that I said.
If that's what he was saying, why did you feel the need to?
Man, I can't believe that's what he's saying. That's what he said. I cannot believe this, man. Like, my son, if that's what you got out of what he said, like, you know what? I'm not even going to pretend like this is what my son believes. I'm just going to know what I know and know that my son is worried about his check stopping. So he's going to say whatever he has to say not to deal with this situation so his check don't stop. So, hey.
To not analyze the video that I just played of him speaking out his own mouth.
Because I've heard the words that he spoke out his mouth, and I was trying to let you hear the words that I've heard so that we don't have a miscommunication.
We were just playing his words, so we don't need to go based on your memory. We don't have to go based on my memory.
Brother, you played 30 seconds of a 10-minute conversation, and you said that's all you need to hear.
We can go back and play more of it because I can assure you I already know how it goes. Okay. Because the brother minister Louis Farrakhan has never once said that being a homosexual is okay. He in fact just stated that it's satanic. And we honestly don't even have to be on this topic because I said six times.
Said that he said it was okay. I never said
six times.
I never said it was okay.
You have represented that it's okay. No, yes, you have. You certainly have. And in fact, we're only talking about skittle guzzling because you have persisted in the conversation.
Bringing that up. I'm not insisting on it. You keep bringing it up.
I said 6 times. We don't have to talk about it. And right after I said that,
bringing it up? So how did this come up?
Because when I stated this, I remember like it was yesterday. You had said something on homosexuality, then I replied to it, and at the end of my response, I specifically said, "And I don't even care about." Why are you interrupting me?
Because you're making up stories. You got on here and said, "How do you feel about homosexuality? What do you think?" This, that, and I explained to you my position, and you stayed on it. I never brought up homosexuality.
Okay,
there's no need for me to bring that up at all.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that we have an understanding here. So you're saying your position on homosexuality is the same as the brother minister Louis Farrakhan. Is that what you're saying?
My position on the homosexuality is that it's not my way of life, but I don't have anything against someone else that does their own way of life.
Okay, you said you have nothing against them. Would you describe their behavior as satanic?
No, I'm not religious. I don't have.
Okay, so I'm just asking you, would you describe it as satanic?
Wait a minute. Now he's not religious, but he grew up under the Muslim and the Louis Farrakhan. But then now he's not religious. So he's going to do anything to stay neutral because he knows that if he picks a side, if he says anything, if he declares anything, he can lose his funding. This man brought up DV and homo 80 times because that's what his narrative, that's what he has to talk about. That's how his bread gets buttered. And he has to stay neutral on any topic. So the black man has no power when it's connected to this system of the woman lead crap that he's talking about. The black man has no power. A black man has no power when he's begging for reparations. A black man has power when he get up off his ass and he do his own work. I keep trying to tell y'all, these celebrities have no power because it's connected to corporate funding. They say one thing the mainstream don't like, they turn their TV off, far as getting sports sponsorship deals and things of that nature, and then it's over with. So when you have men that's controlled by money, you don't have strong men. Men are not supposed to be controlled by anything but the truth. They're supposed to be the closest to God, and that's the truth and the light. And they're supposed to disseminate that down to the people that follow them and that respect them. But what's happening now is that grown men don't know how to make money, so they're being controlled, and they'll bend and fold faster than a woman will, because women, believe it or not, are skilled and talented nowadays, and they can make their own money. And a lot of these dudes now, they're just celebrities. They're just make money off their celebrity. They're just controlled. So we're gonna see who laughs last, while everybody else get controlled and get told what to do. Well, I'm gonna still be saying "fuck you."
So you can say yes.
I don't have a religion.
Okay, cool. All right. Would you describe their behavior as unnatural?
It's a difference in mine. So if we look at calling to,
you can say yes or no. Just a yes or no would be cool.
It's different than mine.
Yes or no would be fine.
It's different.
And you keep telling me that you're a man, but you can't say yes or no. That's not manly. A man can be black and white.
Oh no. Damn, it's late in the night. I watched it till about right up in here. And then I said, okay, it's time to go live. Damn, he told him to write to him. And you keep saying you a man and you can't say yes or no. Ooh, that hurt. Lord have mercy. I don't know, Lord. Mama say, Mama sa, Mama husa. I don't ever want to be in that position, Lord. For another man to tell me, and you keep saying you a man, but you can't say yes or no. Oh, Lord. Them fighting words, Lord. Ooh, woo. I might have to lose my shit, Lord. Get so emotional, I can't even swing straight, Lord. God, dog. That nigga say, hey, you say you a man. Damn.
If we look at calling to,
you can say yes or no. Just a yes or no would be cool.
It's different than mine.
Yes or no would be fine.
It's different.
And you keep telling me that you're a man, but you can't say yes or no. That's not manly. A man can be black and white. Women live in the gray area.
I don't have to demonize somebody.
They live in the gray area.
Ooh, God. Hey, Marquett must got a good right hand, boy. Hey, look at that man say women. After he followed that up by you can say yes or no. You say you a man, but you can't say yes or no. And then follow that up with women stay in the gray area. Man, hold on, nigga. I've been snatching off that microphone. Hold on, nigga. You trying to say I'm a goddamn woman? Hold on, I'm tired of this shit. Replay that, please, KB. Man, look. Ooh, woo. Hey, it's time to go get the troops.
Be fine. It's different. And you keep telling me that you're a man, but you can't say yes or no. That's not manly. A man can be black and white. Women live in the gray area. That would be cool.
It's a difference. I don't have a religion.
Okay, cool. All right. Would you describe their behavior as unnatural?
It's a difference in mine. So if we look at calling to,
you can say yes or no. Just a yes or no would be cool.
It's different than mine.
Yes or no would be fine.
It's different.
And you keep telling me that you're a man, but you can't say yes or no. That's not manly. A man can be black and white. Women live in the gray area.
I don't have to demonize somebody.
They live in the gray area.
It's not a gray area. It's different than mine. I don't have to demonize somebody because they have a different ideology than me. I don't have to do that. I don't have to demonize an individual because we have completely different ideologies. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that.
Oh, this boy ain't shit. Hey, watch this. He put up, yo, hey, he an asshole like me. Hey, that's some shit I do. He put up somebody comment, you are speaking to a woman, and then he smirks. Hey, this dude Marquett is an asshole like me. I like it. I would have definitely did that. Put that up and smile right in the dude's face. Oh man, that's hilarious. You are speaking to a woman. Look at the smirk when he put it up. Watch this.
I don't have to demonize an individual because we have completely different ideologies.
He smirked.
I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that.
the problem that we have with our political class is that to get their money from the lobbyists, the people who control them, to get the money from the interest groups, they have to tap dance. They have to lie. They can't say what they really believe. It's easier to be popular.
I don't have any political affiliation.
Okay, I hear you. It's easier to be popular when you go with the flow, when you go with what's common. It's easy to be popular when you never stand up against anything. It's so easy to say.
I stand up against a lot.
You don't have to interrupt me. It's so easy to say. It's so easy.
Yeah, he do stand up against a lot. He go to jail all the time for women's rights, all kind of stuff. You see him getting arrested for all these political arrests. He done been politically arrested more times than he been street arrested. In the streets, he got arrested one time, locked his ass up 7 years. And political arrest, this motherfucker get arrested every other weekend. And especially a couple years ago, he was getting carted off the jail every other weekend. I call it political arrest. Kwame just pulled the "you not going to talk to me like that," talk to me like I'm not a man card. I feel you though. Yeah, man, I had to pull that card out. Hey, I had to get emotional on that one. Hold on, nigga. Who the hell? He done made too many references to a woman. I understood the first reference, but this time he meant this one. I don't care what he say. I don't care how he trying to slice it or dice it. Putting that up on the screen, you talking to a woman, he really believes that now. Like he lost respect for my son. He said, this hurt. This hurt right here. He has lost respect for my son. Trust me, because I lost a little bit of respect for him too. This right here is sad. He does stay in that gray area. A woman does not want to decide because she want to be cool with everybody. Anybody know your woman don't want to be isolated? Shit, some women will go against your motherfucking ass because she want to have friends. Me, I don't need no goddamn friends. Fuck all y'all. You know what I mean? Shit. It is what it is. If I'm saying something and I'm convicted by it, I don't give a fuck who don't like it. And I'll stand on that. You can call me mean. You can call me whatever. I don't give a flying Japanese. You know what? And that's that on that. But some people do. Some people, there's a lot of men, they come to me with their problem. They come to me telling me how, man, I wish that damn my woman wouldn't have. I'm like, hold on, nigga. You disagree with me in front of her, but then when you got there by yourself, you want to call me and act like you agree with me. Man, damn you. And I find that more often than not that most men that want to be in marriages and want to be in relationships, I find out the truth is stranger than fiction. A lot of these men are in situations where they lying like a mother. They got to be somebody totally different at home and then somebody totally different in the streets. And that's not what I want. Now, if I'm going to get married, I want to be the same old crazy. I want my wife to understand I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy towards her. I'm not a danger towards her. I'm a dangerous mother trucker if pushed, but not towards her. You know, I want to be the same old crazy. I don't want to have a double life. I don't want to be married and got to be a straight up Steve Urkel at the house and then go out in the streets and I'm Stefan Urkel. No, fuck all that. A lot of you men are goddamn Steve Urkel at home and then y'all come out in the streets and y'all Stefan Urkel trying to be smooth and players and shit. Half of you try to be gangster because y'all wife kicking y'all ass at home. Don't come out scriffing with me because your wife kicking your ass. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't want no smoke. Yeah, I'm not gonna be home walking on eggshells. Look here, baby girl. If you try to embarrass me in front of your friends, I'm gonna say, bitch, shut up, right in front of your goddamn friend. Cause we don't do that over here. I don't need to be weak in order for you to be strong. Now, if we gonna respect each other, let's do that. But if we trying to emasculate, if we jockeying for a position, just know I'm trying to motherfucking win. I was the number 1 draft pick for a reason. I try to win every time you come fucking with me. So don't come fucking with me now. I'm just letting you know. I'm not going to slip up on my man because you trying to be strong in front of your friend. I'm just letting you know. So just know how I am and then we okay. I won't be the butt of your jokes because you got 4 or 5 of your friends over here. Because I won't make you the butt of mine because I got 4 or 5 of my homies over here. Can you imagine that, bringing your homies over and then picking on your wife? Sometimes I be seeing these niggas, man, I like, God damn, your wife hates you, boy. All she do is talk shit about you. She beat you down. If you say one thing, if you don't even lie to her and tell her she look good in that dress, she ready to break up with your ass. Yeah, I was number one pick. I'm trying to win. You start some shit, I'm trying to win. Fuck. His testicles are in his wife's purse. Yeah, I don't get that. So that KB, it reminds me of myself. Salute from South Georgia in the building. Y'all know how it go. I don't know why people be acting like their relationship be so hunky-dory. Yes, honey, bring me the cereal. Yes. Bring me the scone. No, sometimes women like to show out a little bit. And you gotta negotiate that. Hold on, girl. What the hell wrong with you? Fuck right, man. You better stop playing. You gotta give them that look where your eyes get big. You better stop playing. What wrong with you? I'm not a weenie dog, and don't try to make me one either. I be watching niggas get turned into weenie dogs in front of the whole crowd. I be like, God damn, dog. Had to pinch mine on the shoulder. You know I'm gonna turn up in this situation, right? Okay, now don't start no shit. It won't be no shit. I'm gonna turn up in this situation. Put me in this situation right here. You gonna get a different outcome. Call it good man, bad man, whatever. Goddamn, don't put me in this situation. Put us in situations to win. This ain't it. Shit.
Easy to say, oh yeah, like, I don't judge. That's what the broads like to say. Oh, I don't judge. I'm not judging. Well, they say that because they don't want to be judged, and the reason they don't want to be judged is because they're engaging in filthy behaviors.
There you go again.
So the fact of the matter is that it's upon the man to establish the standard. It's upon the man to identify right and.
I should have put it like that. This nigga talking about I'm not the bigger person. Hey, yeah, I like how that was placed. That was well placed. I gotta use that. Stay real, Marcus. That nigga say I'm not gonna be the bigger person. Yeah, baby. Look here, baby. Look here now. I know there's some men out there that's gonna let you have that. I'm not gonna be the bigger person. Okay, we gonna both look like some assholes. So don't start no shit. It won't be no shit. Cause I'm not gonna be the bigger person. So I mean, we gonna both fly low that day. So don't do it. Don't do it.
Wrong. It's not upon the man to deal in the gray area and say, oh, it's, I'm not here to judge. I don't do that, but it's okay. And then you tried to throw that on the Mr. Louis Farrakhan, and he's never said that. He said it's satanic, and he also said it's unnatural. We just heard him say it out of his mouth. But conversely, we've not heard him say anything good about it, and we've not heard him say that he condones it.
But he doesn't demonize. He says, I don't demonize you, and I
Wait,
still love you.
he said that it's satanic and unnatural.
I don't demonize you, and I
just played a.
Nah, I ain't going that far, Taryn. I ain't going to no Ike Turner stare now, goddamn. Ike Turner wasn't staying too long. Ike Turner was looking and he was coming to goddamn kick ass. We ain't going. We see that's one of the references we can't use either. Yeah, we can't use Hitler reference. You can't use no goddamn Ike Turner reference either. Yeah, thank you for the super chat, Taryn, but don't try to get me in your bullshit. You're talking about Ike Turner. That's what happy wife, happy life really means. That's what happy life, happy wife really means. Shit me. Nah. See, that's why when I go on people's porch and I be challenging that shit, I be hearing married men. I think they be setting me up. My homeboys that be in relationship, the long, deep relationship, they be thinking about getting married. I think they set me up because they know I can't control what the fuck I say. I just say whatever come to mind. But I say stuff that I really believe in. I'm like, that don't even make sense. What if I think I'm a king and I say I'm a bad motherfucker? Then where's my happiness only making somebody else happy? That's what the same shit women complaining about. Don't nobody want to just always make somebody else happy. Where's your happiness in only making somebody else happy? That don't even make no sense. But they want to brainwash and make a man feel bad about knowing the truth. Like, no, I don't believe in no goddamn happy wife, happy life. That means I'm gonna be miserable. If I'm every day trying to make her happy and working and shit, she gonna be still complaining because I obviously ain't doing enough to make her happy because I'm trying to make my damn self happy. I got things I want to do. So if she ain't already happy or knows what she wants to do to make herself happy, and then we both just be some happy-go-lucky motherfuckers together, and then no, I ain't got time to be making nobody happy. Shit, what the fuck I look like? I ain't God. No, hell no. Yeah, that's that fairy tale stuff. I need a man to make me happy. Bitch, ain't no man ever made you happy outside of the 15, 30 minutes he was bouncing up and down or bending your ass over. After that, you always go back to being mad. So hush. Nobody can't make you happy outside of half an hour, 15 minutes. The fuck? Happy wife, happy life. There's a lot of men living. That's why the strip clubs are all filled. They trying to lie. It's not happy wife. It's happy spouse, happy house. No, hell no. I'm just saying. My happiness. I better have some happiness up in there too. Or I'm going to the strip club. Yeah, I'm going to the strip club. Ain't no goddamn happy wife, happy life. Shit, I'm telling you, after I left my baby mama, that was the stretch of 2 years. Boy, I was the happiest in my life. Y'all know how you had that breakup, and at first you be like, damn, boy, it's over. You be sad at first, but then after you get out here in the streets and you stretch your legs a little bit, you be like, what the fuck was I thinking? Man, you be happy as a bird and ray in the sunshine. Man, that was my happiest 2 years. Fuck you talking about, man, what? I'm starting to think I ain't been as happy ever. No, let me stop. Yeah, I'm starting to think, shit. I'm just saying, you knocked them cobwebs off, but shit, I'm starting to think you was the problem, like Morgan Wallen said. Shit, I saw that new Morgan. Well, I don't even think it's new, but it's new to me. That Morgan Wallen song where he was walking away from the girl in the car wreck, and he was just started to heal. Yeah, I ain't saying this back pain was because of you, but that bitch gone now, motherfucker. All right, back to the topic. Some of y'all don't listen to Morgan Wallen, so y'all might not know what I'm talking about.
Clip, and he said it's satanic and unnatural.
Did you listen to the full clip, bro?
I just heard him say it's satanic and unnatural.
Okay.
So for you being a person who's not a gay ally, you sure as hell can't just accept where we're at with it and move on.
Oh shit, they gonna clip that up. They gonna clip that shit up. Yeah, oh boy, I say a lot of shit, get myself in trouble. Damn.
Like you're bent on the idea that Minister Farrakhan did not condemn them. You're really bent on pushing that.
I'm not bent on anything.
You are bent on that. And here's the crazier thing. This is why that Barack Obama stuff, that liberal white woman ideology, I know it's got hold of you because you have not been so passionate about discussing the black issues as much as the LGBTQ. And that's the same thing we dealt with Barack Obama. Barack Obama was all about the LGBTQ and he ain't do nothing for black people.
But you're the only one that keep bringing that up.
No, that's you.
When you go back in this conversation, you started off with, what do you think about gays? Then you said Minister Farrakhan would be answered. We was talking about who built something in America. And you start talking about the Minister Farrakhan, and you said the Minister Farrakhan will be completely against it. You did that. That was your statement. I didn't bring up gays. Once again, you brought up gays. You
did bring up gay language, and that's part of the conversation. You were saying partner, and that's gay language, my boy. That's gay language.
Who said that? The word
you said partner. You started that way earlier.
Started in the gay? What are you talking about?
Yes. Let me educate you. You asked me a question. I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to answer your question. You asked me a question. Let me answer it. You said partner started with the gays, and my answer is yes. And here's how. The gays have made every effort to remove gender from relationships. Instead of saying boyfriend or girlfriend, because these people are non-binary, they can't look below the belt and figure out what they are. They have to introduce gender-neutral terms in gender-neutral bathrooms. So you're not a boyfriend. You're interrupting again. May I ask? May I respond? You asked me a question. May I respond? May I respond? May I respond? And when the truth comes out, they always. So what they do is they use the term partner to remove gender from terms like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, and wife. Partner is 100% an LGBTQ term that they've pushed out to the masses, just like non-binary. And why do you keep interrupting? Why do you keep having to interrupt? You feel so strongly. You're so emotional about this, but you keep interrupting. You're so emotional about it. 1 second. You're so emotional. You keep interrupting. You're so emotional. You keep interrupting.
I'm asking a question. What if you don't want to?
But you don't have to interrupt to ask the question.
Or you're a grown man as a boyfriend, and you don't have a wife or a husband. What would you call that person? What would be a good?
I'll give you an example. A lot of guys, especially in the South, you say my old lady. You say my woman. It's been going on for hundreds of years. Okay. The fact that you're playing dumb is very embarrassing because people are watching you and they're like, "Why is he?"
Because I don't like to use the term.
Yeah, like this is actually crazy. Like for years and years, that's my old lady. That's my wife right there. We ain't married at all. That's my wife. Y'all married? No. But I don't understand what's going on with my son right now.
woman.
Why is he pretending as though he
term.
can't call a woman a woman? You just said using the term woman is a ghetto term. Did you just say that?
No, that's not a professional term. This is my woman.
It is your woman.
That's some ghetto shit.
That's not ghetto. Woman is a word in formal English. It's not slang. This is my woman. That's not ghetto at all.
That's slang.
No, that's actually not slang. And furthermore, girlfriend is not slang. You can say girlfriend. We've been using that for a long time. You can say
this my woman is slang. No, that's not. NBA young boy say this my bitch. Them young boys don't call no girl no woman. Tupac wasn't calling them no women. We was calling them B words back in the day because Tupac and all of them taught us that. Calling them H's and tricks. That's slang. How's this slang for calling them? If somebody call my daughter their girlfriend, I'm gonna want to kick their ass because I just don't want my daughter with a boyfriend. But that I'm not gonna be offended because that's not a disrespectful term. If they say that's my bee or that's my garden tool, then I would say that. But what are you talking about? Something going on with my son. Is he a clone? They done left my son in jail. They done let out this clone.
My wife. You can say it's my old lady.
Any individual. We were talking about.
So you're trying to justify something that is unjustifiable. Partner came from the LGBTQ. That's full stop. That's a fact.
Okay.
That's a fact. There's no negotiating. It's a fact.
I've never had any conversation inside the LGBTQ area.
I agree with you. I totally believe you. I totally believe you. But that's my point. You're so brainwashed by the liberal white woman that you're speaking like her, and you don't know where the words came from. It's just like when white people start trying to talk in slang, and they don't know, like, oh, this word came from Louisiana. Oh, this word came from the Yay area in San Francisco. But they're trying to talk like us, but they don't fully understand the origins because it's not their culture. Similar with you. You're a black man from New York talking like a white woman from Orange County, and you don't realize that word came from the San Francisco LGBTQ mafia. That's what happened.
He definitely sound weird as hell. This dude cooking my son. You definitely sound weird, my son. I don't know dudes that sound like this. This is weird.
You're a black man.
I'm the black man.
No, you're a black man.
I'm the black man.
A black man who's talking like he has some complex. He has to prove something.
I'm the black man.
Or try to sound strong every time.
No, it's because you keep interrupting. Every time I talk about your homosexual buddies, you interrupt.
That's the thing that you keep doing. You keep trying to sound tough or sound strong.
I'm not trying to sound tough because we're not in person. Like I would never try to sound tough. I think you're plenty tough. I don't need to sound tough to you. Like between the two of us, I think we all agree you're tougher. You're tougher. You got that. So why are we trying to sound tough? What are you talking about?
I don't know why you're trying to be aggressive or trying to diminish something.
No, we're not being aggressive. I just don't condone your ideology.
But it's not about I don't have an ideology, and you keep trying to put ideology on me. And once again,
you said you don't have an ideology. You just don't know what it is.
Okay,
you don't know what it is.
All I'm gonna say is this: we leaving this conversation alone. You have your old lady, you have all that. I was talking about just in general. Two people have a partnership. Now that was my ideology. If that's your ideology is different, cool. I don't have any white women ideology. I utilize the word partnership because to me, it's two people that come together and they form.
That's not where you got that from.
Well, you can't tell me where I got something from.
No, I know. I can't tell you.
You just met me today. What are you talking about?
Oh, you're the one who invented the term partner to describe your spouse? You invented that? You invented that?
Partner been around spouses before. You think that you're the first?
No, that's a new thing. When people used to say, oh, my partner, they were referring to their business partner. That's how I know you're lying. Because it was commonly used as a term for business partner. It's only recently been used to describe your spouse. So you're lying.
It's not true.
No, that's a fact.
No, it's only recently been used to you in that term. That's what you were introduced to it. So don't tell me what I learned.
Okay, well then you tell me, where did you learn that from? Like, how did you invent that?
Because at this point we're going around in a circle talking about the same thing.
Real quick though, how did you invent the term partner to describe your spouse?
Anything. I utilized the term because it was more comfortable for me because I thought I wanted a partnership rather than saying my woman. To me sounded ghetto, and saying my girlfriend when I'm a grown man is not my girlfriend. And if you're not my wife, then there's no need to say my wife. So the word partner was talking about two people that are in a relationship that you don't actually identify as a girlfriend or a marriage. Is a partnership. It's two people that come together to form a partnership. That was my ideology. Whatever you got or where you got it from.
So my son don't have an old lady. He don't have a woman. He don't have a spouse. He has a partner. And so Okay. All right. So my son, when you with the guys, and you say sometimes we talk a little something, but I'm about to go home, tear my girl up. You say I'm about to go home and tear my partner ass up. That's what you say. That don't even sound right. Boy, look at here. I gotta go home. Boy, I can't wait to lay with my partner tonight. I'm tired of hanging with you niggas. I'm going to hang with my partner. No, that sounds like you hanging with another dude. Oh, maybe if you put the partner. I'm going to hang with my partner. No, that ain't how we talk, my son. Man, I'm finna get away from you niggas, man. Y'all stink. I'm finna go hang out with my girl, man. I'm finna go lay up with my woman, and we finna watch a movie. This nigga said, I'm finna lay up with my partner. That don't even sound like something I'm ready to rush home to. I don't rush home to no partner. I rush home to a woman. Can't no partner make me put no phone down. Erykah Badu is a woman who said that. I don't know what the hell you talking about, partner. A woman can make me put my phone down, not a partner or a partner. This shit sounds stupid. Yeah, saying woman is ghetto. Why the fuck saying woman is ghetto? It's saying I like beautiful black women. Oh, that's so fucking ghetto. Like, what are you talking about? This man here. Boy, I'm gonna tear my partner ass up when I get home. No, that don't even sound right. Pause. What is wrong with you, my son? Are you in the sunken place? Us men say we can't wait to get to our woman, our girl. Boy, it's on. Hey, baby, put them thongs on, girl. This nigga in there. Hey, baby, put them thongs on, partner. Man, ugh, that sound whack.
That's on you. I no longer want to talk about this. So let's end this because it's been 2 hours and I got things to do. And I appreciate the dialogue.
Absolutely. But thanks for coming on. Until next time.
Okay.
Okay, let me catch up on some of the questions. And by the way, send in your questions, comments right now. You can use the information below. You can use the PayPal, or you can use the Venmo and also the Stripe link as well to send in your comments, questions. And I'll go ahead and answer those at this time. That is fascinating. Let's see. And shout out to Mysonne for being willing to come on. True Nation of Islam. Mysonne has completely leapt to the other side. They put bags of money. Yeah, money's persuasive. It's peace to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the True Nation of Islam. Mysonne has completely leapt to the other side. They put bags of money. Yeah, money's persuasive. Shout out to Austin, writes, Peace of the Saints came in via PayPal. And I appreciate those of you who really support good work and good conversation. We really are pushing forward a movement. Shout out to David. He writes, as a man from the Bronx, I apologize for that embarrassing display. I'm extremely disappointed as I have had a long-standing respect for Mysonne. Me too. I still have respect for Mysonne. He writes, he doesn't even see where his foolish ideas come from. Yeah, they won't take light from a black man, but they damn sure will take it from a liberal white woman. I'll tell you that much, man. And believe it's true knowledge. Shout out to Mr. Chapman. He writes, the term partner for sexual relationships became popular in the late 1980s during the AIDS epidemic with the LGBTQ. A simple Google search will tell you that, right? Yeah, it's funny how all of a sudden facts and studies, it just means nothing when people are pushing propaganda. And in fact, you can see right here, simple search, because I was curious when he was saying that. I wrote, did the LGBTQ popularize the term partner to describe a spouse? The answer is yes. You don't even need to read beyond that. The answer is yes. There's done reading, but let's keep going. The LGBTQ community played a significant role in popularizing the use of the term partner to describe a spouse or long-term romantic companion. You don't even need to read beyond that. So the answer is yes, which means Marquett was factual and correct yet again. And one thing you guys will notice consistently is that I only come with facts, data, statistics, studies, logic. And if you ever would see that I'm wrong or inaccurate, I'll apologize immediately. I'm not going to wait till the next stream to apologize. I'll apologize right then and there. But the truth of the matter is, I don't formulate my opinions and then go look for the data. I formulate my opinions based on the data, based on the logic. And, unfortunately, that's not how most human beings are doing it. May I acknowledge Ray? He writes,
Man, I definitely appreciate this debate, man. I appreciate this back and forth that they had in front of us. And yeah, shout out to Mysonne for coming up here having that debate, because a lot of people don't like to debate people or have conversations with people anymore that they disagree with, because it's just like a fight. As soon as you lose a fight, everybody, oh, don't fuck with that person no more. Oh, this person can't fight. It's not that for me. I want to actually have more conversation with my son and try to understand why does he think the way he think, and what examples can he give that he's helping the kids that he's talking and mentoring to. Because if he's mentoring and talking to kids every day, and they're saying that we all see that he sounds not very manly. He sounds like he's a white woman. So it's basically like these kids are learning from a white woman in a male's body anyway. Because I had liberal women teaching me all my adolescence, and I went to St. Simon's Elementary. It was all white women. All of my teachers were white women. You know, I had a black male teacher in middle school, and that's when he didn't accept a lot of that bullshit. You couldn't sneeze in his class. You couldn't call. You couldn't do nothing. Do all that. He'd be like, "Excuse you." He made sure the manners was. I ain't never seen a dude this, like, everything about him was manners. No. Come, start over. What happened? No, think about it. Start over. You be like, what the hell? Start over. He just keep saying, start over. And I'd be like, oh, okay. Excuse me. There you go. Now you can start. Like, you know, and I never really had manner issues because my mama didn't play that shit. But there's slippage in everybody. But I'm glad that we got a chance to see this debate because, man, propaganda meets reality, and reality kicks ass every time. You find that a lot of these men that's talking all this woman propaganda talk, that a lot of their security comes through government contracting and fundraisers and foundation through other help with women. Not a lot of them build, not a lot of them create, not a lot of them can pass out jobs. They just work. They're employees of some sort. And not to say that's not a good thing, but you know, he should have never took this debate with this guy though. He wasn't ready for this one. He repeat every talking point the white liberal woman says. Yeah. But listen, man, I gotta make something move real quick. I stayed longer than I wanted. I wanted to touch on this Somalis. Excuse me. When I go live again on this channel, I'll talk about the Somali stuff, but I got to get up and get moving. That was 3 hours of sitting still. I don't want to get no hemorrhoids. So y'all have a blessed day. I'm up out of this thing. Gone. I appreciate everybody who super chatted. I'm up out of this thing. I'm gone.